Hi, I'm Brandon Sloan from Zoogloo Entertainment. I'm very excited to showcase Thrive Heavy Lies the Crown. Today, we're doing a multiplayer session, which is one of the main game features of Thrive that we really wanted to bring to market. I'll pass it on to Greg.
Yeah, I'm Greg, as Brian just said, from Zoogloo Entertainment. Super excited that we're putting our game on early access and people are going to get a chance to play. And just glad to be here.
Great. Hi, I'm George. I'm from Playside. Here to just sort of join in on the multiplayer fun that Thrive can bring along and talk about, I guess, the bits and pieces of my time here as well.
Hey, I'm Alex. I'm a community manager. I don't think anyone introduced their roles. But, if you guys want to say yours, or if you want to keep it a secret, I think that's kind of fun as well. And I'm here for the vibes. I'm here to play Thrive, enjoy it, have a great time. And I noticed that we really did Playside on the right, Zoogloo on the left. We really split the map right in half, which is great. But yeah, we're gonna kick right off. If you guys want to ready up, we'll start the game. Although I do see, Greg, you are flicking through your flag still, changing it up. You've gone with Rhino. We've got Rhino.
Yeah, I started a bit early there. Yeah, I'm clicking it. I like to click. Yeah.
Yeah, please click away,
Is there a specific flag you like to have, or?
I like to switch it up. Today I'm going to, since you guys have, I don't know, like I see a bear footprint and a target, I feel you guys are a little more aggressive, so I'm going to go with the Rhino.
I mean, a rhino is like the most aggressive animal. Oh, that's a hippopotamus.
Yeah, no, hippos are the ones you got to be careful about. Is there a hippo for the flag, or?
I don't know. There's so many. At least the Rhino looks aggressive with the horn, at least.
All right, great. Well, we're loading in. I mean, how do you guys feel about, the launch of early access? Congrats on your game coming out.
Yeah, thanks very much. Yeah, we're really excited to share with everyone and get feedback from the community. From the start of this, it's always been one of the greatest things to have is people playing your game and getting feedback from them. Really enjoy watching people play. For myself, very much, we wanted to have multiplayer be included because city builder genre is one of my favorite, and so often you're playing by yourself, and with 3 small children, it's hard to find time to game in general. So I love to be able to share the experience with my friends and family. So it's great that you can jump in, and not only can you play on the same team as them, but you can either stab them in the back to work against them in PvP, or you can actually play the same kingdom together, so you control the same pieces, which really can become important as your kingdom expands, because someone could kind of manage the main province as another player on your team can manage the settlements.
Yeah, George and I are actually going to be doing an extended playthrough of that. So we're going to be doing weekly co-op streams as we, together control the same empire and probably take every province in the map. I think that's an ultimate goal. We'll see how deep into that playthrough we get. But that's super exciting. All right, we're at the first screen. Well, let's talk through it.
Okay. Sorry. Just itching to get to the gameplay.
You're like, I've done it. I know what choice I'm making.
Actually, I guess that's a question for you, for the two of you there. So, with the 3 choices that you have now, for those of us that have played the game, we understand what the differences are here. But what was the idea behind having these choices? And in your opinion, is there a better choice?
Go ahead. I was just going to say, I assume once you start playing and you figure out kind of the choice, but we're trying to make it a little bit so you don't know. The outcome of every single choice that you make. This first choice is kind of like that. Just kind of gets you in the game. It's more of a feeling kind of question. Go ahead. An obvious answer. I was just I assume once you start playing and you figure out the world, and we want to make you make decisions in the game that you're not going to just this gives me this exact the outcome of every single I'm going to pick that. It's more just play the kind of way you can the kingdom you want to create. Just kind of gets in the game. It's more of a feeling kind of question.
And is there a specific choice that you guys prefer to choose?
Figure out the world, and we want to make you make decisions. Well, with our game going either benevolent or trend, kind of pathways, I'm going to pick that. I usually have it more just play the plan in my head, so I'll try to more of a feeling kind of question one way or the other, trying to figure out kind of the wording and how I can kind of go that path. Well, with our game going either benevolent.
For myself, I usually kind of depended on what my gameplay style is in that match. So this time I went the wisdom route one way so that I was able to unlock the tilling soil edict, which will help me reduce how many farmers I need in the early game. for my crops. And
that's the meta we love. That's what we love.
I'm hoping to match that with the increased firewood production. So I'm going to use the townspeople resource from the farms and move them over to early firewood production. I'm hoping to match that with the increased firewood production.
What's your fave?
I kind of flick between Prosperity's Pursuit and Wisdom's Grown. I've never really gone with the rise with Vigilance, so I actually don't know what that brings along. So do we spice it up?
Match that with the increased firewood production.
What's your fave?
I kind of flick between Prosperity's Wisdom's Grown. I've never really gone with the rise. I don't think I've done.
So we have a cool spawn. Love starting in a forest.
Yeah, we're good. We're strategic in where we've chosen.
Yeah. And we went insular. We went on the insides as well. Like none of us chose the outside. Everyone kind of went for a inside out approach. Although I am nervous. I'm curious if you guys are going to be working together or you guys are going to be absolutely beefing Mad Dog. You're not even going to look to settle other provinces. You're just going to instantly build armies and just start Zerg rushing each other. I don't know what's going on in the Zoogloo offices and what kind of internal politics you guys have going, but very keen to find out.
Depends who's rushing to get what resource, yeah. But yeah, being close to the middle does help you with some of the very late game resources that the Warmaxa control in the center. But it does put you closer to their kingdom as well, so it's easier for them to come after you.
Yeah, that's why I kind of go near the bottom middle, so I'm slightly farther away, but still close to the really good stuff.
As far as like pathing goes, are the roads always predetermined? Like, is it always the exact same map, or does it like change up?
That is correct. It's a handcrafted map that we've taken the time to plan out. So the main highway roads and all that are always there. Yes.
Yeah, that's sick. I mean, that's the sort of thing where it's like you experiment with it, you have fun with it, and then once you like learn the different locations, then you can kind of like start to know like, oh, this is my favorite location. Because when I was talking to George, I was like, hey, where do you want to settle? When we were doing our strategic team meeting before, so we could crush you guys. We really started talking about like different sort of things like the layouts of the map and resources was like a big one, as you said, because there are kind of like mid-game and late game resources which require you to go to other provinces, which we're getting so ahead of ourselves. I think if people have played the game, we're like in the late game, and it's like we've just started. And watching George, who has a very specific setup structure, it is wonderful to see this little T shape. Do you want to explain the little T you've gone for, and I guess the theory behind the like three little tri base?
So obviously something you'll learn as you play the game, like the three main things you need nearby are food stores, primitive stockpiles, and wells, sort of grow and be able to have happy homes with happy people. So as you can see, when you're clicking on each of the different things, you're kind of getting this area of effect bubble around them to kind of tell you what kind of area that does encapsulate. But then once these three will build, and which we'll get to in a moment, knock that speed up to 2 for now.
Thank you.
No, my pleasure. Just need to get some more wood and stone for this to get there. But essentially what will happen is in the lovely world of Venn diagrams, where these three things will cross over, there are certain buildings where it's like a happy place. So for me, my way of doing things is kind of creating small pockets of towns where they specialize in a very specific thing. So this here will kind of start out growing as like my little farmer settlement to the side of my province, and will sort of specialize in getting sort of like the early resources to get happiness sorted. So I'm definitely more, after a lot of trial and error, we got to this point where it's like, what is the optimum route?
Yeah, and it is fascinating because Greg, I am watching your stream. We'll flick over in a sec, but I'm curious I want to see George finish this, because George has a very specific 10 houses in a row structure, like 2 lines all the way up. But you did explain it to me. You're like, you can see the circles on the map, like the that like kind of say like where you can settle and like where people will have like the correct resources and stuff. And like when you explain like, oh, that's the way you can like maximize in those circles, I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Greg, that's not how you're getting down. And you get down exactly like how I get down, which is beautiful rectangles. So we can flick over to Greg if you want to explain a bit of your setup real quick. Let me flippity flip, press the button.
Yeah.
Press the button. I'll just do it manually. There we go. Yeah, please. Feel free to explain.
Yeah, so for me, I kind of differentiate my different class of people. So right now we just have the farmers going. I try to cram as many people as I can into my circles, as like you'll see when like you place down a new house, you can see like the optimal yellow area for all the stuff. So I've got right to the brim there. I'll still fill up the top here.
I will say it's not coming in. Yep. It's not like perfectly fluid footage. It's kind of like a frozen freeze frame. But you know, hey, that's the perils of streaming and everything. But we're seeing this beautiful rectangle structure that you have. But just letting you know, the circles and stuff aren't quite coming up.
Okay, sure. And I like to maximize my well efficiency, because when you do overlap the well circles, you get a little less production of individual wells. So I hate when they overlap. So I try to make the circles perfect for kind of the well, which I have found actually I will get, which pushes the fire prevention chances of what the well can do for you until you unlock the fire hall. So it's risky, but I find it helps in later in the game.
Yeah, your early town is usually quite on fire, Greg.
I know.
Going that route, yeah.
Well, it's okay. It's okay.
That's part of your plan, yeah. You got to really get that fire hall right away for yourself that you left the hole for.
I've already started the research. I'm 80% done on my wood chopper bonus and trying to get to the fire hall as quickly as possible. So I don't. I mean, I'm sure we're gonna see, but I have that luck. But yeah, I sometimes have fire issues. And then I like to have like different areas. So like eventually over here, I'm going to have my production zone where I have all my production buildings going. And then I'll space out my farms kind of around the main core of the city. So that's kind of what I do with my build.
All right, great. Yeah, no, we'll periodically check back in and everything. Like I said, it's a little bit freezy, so we might just get beautiful snapshots rather than super clean footage. But hey, that makes it even spicier. That makes, you know, really we are the audience surrogate here of you get to see us and we get a little peek, because usually you can't really see other people's provinces in player. But I also love that they like you immediately are like, yeah, I'm loading in my like tomes of knowledge, like minute 1, I'm getting that stuff unlocked. This is not a low level game. This is a competitive game. This is no quick play. This is immediately launched into.
And when you put up a bunch of buildings, too, it's nice to just sit back and watch them put them together too, with the kind of little construction animations they do.
Oh, the animations on the actual construction themselves is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it's very adorable. I do like how, because it kind of looks piece by piece. It kind of like, do you want to explain the art of how that animation works?
Jackie could probably do a much.
Bring really Jackie in, get him over.
Yeah, I know we would need. Yeah, it basically we were able to build a system to help us get all the animation pieces from the ground up. A bit of an automated system so that you could see each individual piece being built by the person for the full 3D model. So it actually came together really well. We're very happy with it.
Yeah, it's really cool. At what point in the process did you guys like decide that? Like, I always wonder, is that like a, you know, an early in the process, like, you know what, that's going to be a really cool thing that we've like wanted the whole time and took a while to make work? Or is it something that's like, you know, you kind of instantly spawned and then you were like, you know what would make this like even cooler? And I think I have the capabilities to do. Like, where on that sort of wavelength was the piece by piece building?
It was definitely on the list of, yeah, we really want this. It's super cool. It's something I like from a lot of different city builder genres of games. But it was one that was quite the tech hurdle. So it actually took us quite a bit to find the correct solution to have this work with how many buildings we have, because Thrive being a very big logistics game, and yes, you haven't going a lot of different routes, going benevolent, tyrannical, and things like that. There is a lot of different buildings that can be placed.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. We have got to the start of Act 1, so we're going to lock in. Do you want to do a beautiful reading?
Oh, okay. Wow, we're doing this. All right. So, settling in, the foundations of your settlement have been laid, but much must be done to encourage its growth. Your Curia, a small group of advisors, will help find your way. Chancellor Brody Declan and Duke Doveton Stanton are those who remain from the fallen King's Curia. Sir, how do you pronounce his first name, actually? Is it Ocean?
Yeah.
Cool. So Ocean Haywood, a trusted knight and friend, has been added to round off the group. Together, you must determine where to best focus efforts in this fledgling kingdom. All right. We're going to read all of this.
No, okay, we don't have to read all of it. You guys can experience it for yourself. I just wanted to give a little bit of, we're introduced to the 3 chancellors.
Yeah, so
the 3 advisors.
We have Brody here. He's generally the person who I like to side with quite a bit.
Some spoilers. Then you got my boy Haywood coming in.
That's it. And then, eventually there he is. Mr. Stanton, Duke Stanton. He's just he's so untrustworthy to me.
Well, that face and general vibe and everything he's saying is untrustworthy?
I don't know. See, I feel like that's just a ball thing. I kind of I relate to him a little more, so I always go with him. Yeah.
All right. So, choices. What are you thinking, Alex?
Yeah, so, we've got Haywood. They're about safety. We've got Declan. They're about helping the people. And we've got Stanton, and they're about coin. I'm thinking, look, I usually go with Declan, as you said. And
which isn't coin today, aren't we?
No, but I feel like coin. I think let's make money. Stanton for life. I've always said it. My boy Donovan. I have his face tattooed on me. I can't say where, but he's my boy, the Duke.
Yeah.
There we go. Well, we're agreeing with the Duke.
Yeah, locked in. Oh my god.
We got 150 coin.
Boom, and we're gonna instantly invest that in a home? Have we already unlocked it?
We're going to go for the next one, actually.
Yeah, the next one.
So we're... Oh, wait. Oh, don't have enough of that one. We're going for the Apple Farm Yield here.
This is probably a good time as well to explain how the Tome of Knowledge works and the different choices. So basically, do one of you guys want to explain the Tome of Knowledge? We'll have it up. But how you guys came to be there's 2 choices for each, and you can select one, and then that's locked in.
Yeah, so for the Tome of Knowledge, obviously, as you can see there, you kind of get a choice on most of all the upgrades here, each having a little bit of a positive and negative to your town. But it kind of all went back to the tagline, "Heavy lies the crown." We want all the choices in the game to feel impactful and change your kind of gameplay style and the effects that it has on your people. So unlike maybe a standard tech tree where you just unlock and everything's a positive, there's always an outcome to weigh. So again, making that feeling of the player, my choices have weight and it does change how my citizens react to me. And also all ties into how you end up going benevolent or tyrannical for the benevolent and tyrannical point system behind the scenes that tie in a lot with the events.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, we've mentioned benevolent and tyrannical. I feel like now's a good time to explain it properly. Do you guys want to go into kind of what the choice system is and what that sort of dichotomy is and how it works and sort of the impacts it has on you as a player? George, continue playing as well in the meantime. Continue with your beautiful structure. I also we will switch who's playing, but I think I'm gonna jump in on province number 2. Spoilers. I don't want to mess with this setup, and I don't want to speak for you, George. I don't know how much you would love if I just came in and was I'm doing my thing over here. I'm on grid system.
Oh look, I wouldn't necessarily mind, but if you made a mistake, I'd delete it and start again.
Yeah. If you did it correctly, I would be fine with it.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, sorry. Did one of you want to explain the sort of tyrannical benevolent system?
Yeah. So go ahead, Greg. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. You got it.
Yeah. I'll go. No. I'm playing.
Yeah. Let's fight over it. I'll bring some army over to your guys' town and we'll see.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean with these with the city builder kind of games, we wanted to have a little bit of variety. Oh my god, my whole town just went in revolt.
At least it's not on fire, and you got to take your wins.
I know. I'm actually impressed. I think it's the longest I've gone without my entire city burning down, so that's good. With Benevolent and Tyrannical, we wanted to have like a little bit of difference in how your city could look visually and play your play style. So Benevolent, it's not only just about like saying you're Benevolent or Tyrannical. Your buildings actually look different. There'll be different resources that you need to use in different ways, and your military units are going to be different. So we're trying to create a little bit of more of a replay value for like the end of the city. So you get to go through it a couple times and see which one you like, and especially for multiplayer, you don't want to just be going the same units against same units. So it creates a little bit of like rock paper scissors in that sense of like how you can bonuses and minuses to like what should I do to attack them and what should I do to protect myself. And it gives the choices that little extra feel too of like, if you commit to a certain way, you kind of always want to go that direction to kind of create your town in the way you'd like it.
Yeah, that's sick. No, I think it's so cool. I mean, like, it's funny because like for me, this is a game that I first saw you playing on TikTok. And that's what got me to wishlist this game originally. Way back when. And like that was one of like I saw a TikTok. I think the first one I saw was like you guys talking about like multiplayer, you guys talking about co-op. And then I went through and you guys were like talking a little bit about like the sort of, do you guys call it the morality system? Do you guys have a word for like the specific dichotomous choice? Like the narrative choice, in-house word?
Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it, morality. Yeah.
Yeah, like, and that was something I was like, because this is probably my favorite genre, or like one of my favorite genres. And like those two things, like the co-op, but also sort of the like moral choice, were two things that I was like, oh, I've like never seen this in a game before. Like sometimes there's like a little bit of it, maybe, but like not really. Not in like a classic settlement builder, not in like a classic city builder. And it definitely was one of the things that, yeah, like got me to wishlist the game. And I was like, hey, oh. This is so fun and unique, and I'm not sure if we'll be able to get to it today. And by I'm not sure, I mean we will. Definitely not. I don't think. But the getting to see the like different buildings and like how they work, you're right. Like really does bring like a different flair to your town, and it's cool to see like a game that has different like cities you can build in different playthroughs, which I think is incredibly unique for a city builder or a settlement builder. And I don't even know if I've seen it before. I'm sure it exists. I mean, everything exists, but like, this is definitely the first time I encountered it. Yeah, was that like, were you guys like inspired by anything, or were you guys just like straight from the dome? This is an original thought.
Definitely inspired by I guess Black and White. But
for us, or is that a game? Like just
a game, yeah.
I don't know. Oh my god, I'm ashamed. I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm a fake fan. Fake. Oh, sorry. I leave. I'll hand my resignation.
But the main difference there is, yeah, we wanted people to naturally explore who they become. So that's why you don't see exactly what benevolent or tyrannical points you're getting as you play the game. We want you to deal with the situation in the moment, and then for you players to find out how that ended up eventually becoming. So as you're making those event choices, as you're putting down production buildings, making tech choices and things like that, as you play to keep your people alive. We haven't really talked about it yet, but there's the Walgrim presence. So as you're struggling to survive and build up your city and make it flourish, though those choices all have little impacts. And so then eventually you discover what you became as a ruler. So you became benevolent or tyrannical as you play.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I feel like, I don't know, do you guys have one that you like to lean towards as a default? Or more specifically, do you guys have one that you prefer from like a gameplay artistic standpoint? Or do you change it up?
Tyrannical is always a lot of fun. Do they both have pluses and minuses? Like so much in life, everything has a plus and a minus. So they both have some. I do think sometimes some of the ideas for just like, ooh, that'd be really cool, float a little easier from the tyrannical side.
Ooh, okay.
But maybe that's just my nature. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. When the game was originally made, you were like, we have to have tyrannical. We have to have tyrannical. You know, really pushing for it, getting everybody on board. I respect it. I mean, that's strong leadership.
Yeah. I think that, I mean, so often in, my own life and stuff, it's fun to be the bad guy sometimes, which I'm not in real life at all. So maybe that's why through games.
Yeah. So they say. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, boss. Always a good guy. Yeah. All right. We have gotten to the second narrative point. George, do you want to explain what's the general choice that's going on here in conversation?
So to be honest, I kind of was purposefully skipping through it so then players can actually discover some things themselves. But basically here, what we're trying to do is it's again still talking about the citizens, and it's like, are we trying to be benevolent? Are we trying to be tyrannical? Are we trying, where do we want to go? So Haywood says, do you want to trust an outsider? And then, you've got, Duke Stanton, and it's like, talking about experience with Coin. Because obviously, hey, if you know what you're doing with Coin, he's happy with you there. And then, you got, again, Declan, he's like, hey, let's just like, Councillor Declan's like, let's keep it calm. Let's go with him for now. Bit of back and forth between the decisions. So as we can see here, we're having this discussion there. But again, I try and sort of skip through this a little bit at the moment, more so players can experience it more themselves.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I just wanted a quick overview of some of the things that are coming. And I will say, like, from my perspective, I mean, we talk about tyrannical and benevolent as this kind of, like, dichotomy, right? And it is, but I would say when you're playing and you actually, like, read through the choices, it's, like, not as clear as you might think. Firstly, there's 3 choices as well, and we're talking about it in this binary, so that already adds like a spanner in the works. But it's not like the sort of tyrannical choices is like, my take is we should like capture everybody and be like totally the worst person of all time. Like, it's much more subtle, and I think like there is justification in the sort of like tyrannical path that is like, oh, I can like see what's going on here. Like, there is a logic. And it's not just like such a moral binary that like as a person outside of the game, you could stand and go like, oh, obviously one's good and one's bad. Like, I do think there is a lot more moral gray in the sort of way it's written and the way that the answers work and like what you're actually answering. So if you're playing through for the first or second or third time and you aren't like 100%, across like kind of the different back end, point system that's going on, I don't think that like it is particularly easy to identify. Like, you can kind of figure it out, but at the same time, if you're just looking at it and answering like what you think is best and everything, like you will kind of end up on a side, and like it's not necessarily going to be like I can pick it right from the off immediately. I don't think.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Alex. That was the exact intention behind it, and depending on those choices, yes, some of the narrative also links together. So a choice you went one way will open up a different branch of the narrative further down the road. So, if you make that choice that George was just mentioning about, someone joining your town and stuff. So those do link to different events later on. And that was the idea behind it, is that you don't quite know exactly if it's tyrannical or benevolent choice. And there is a lot of moral gray area in between those as well.
Well, a way to help that too, internally, we always wanted to stay away from the terms like good and evil, because those are usually very obvious. So we wanted like your end town, when you do become tyrannical or benevolent, that's what the civilization kind of wants. So you're making the people always happy. You're not like trying to be evil and just do evil things, or trying to be good and do good things. You're trying to create a society in a certain mindset.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that's cool.
think for me as well, one thing that I've always like really enjoyed about this, just sort of that ability of like, because of all of those differences that you can choose, and even in terms of the way you know, going through the Tome of Knowledge as well, and like the choices you make there, just like.
Speaking of, should we lock in something?
I've already actually locked in a few things. We're getting ready to unlock actually our tier 2.
Oh, okay, great.
So,
sorry, please continue what you were saying. So, we can come back to this.
One thing that I've really liked is it's that factor that like you learn so much as you play, and every time you play, like you figure something else out, and you just learn more and more and more and more. So, you know, like I know for myself, not to, you know, give away my tactics too soon yet, but like, you know, picking, you know, your choices in the Tome of Knowledge, for example, or, you know, depending on, you know, the narrative events and the certain outcomes from some of your choices, you know, there are some times when you figure a little few things out, it's like, all right, I'm going to make sure I pick these things because I want those early game.
Yeah, I mean, Brandon being like, I'm going to pick this area for I'm going to pick these choices because I want certain edicts in the early game. I mean, like a lot of that stuff you kind of find out, but it's like that second, third, fourth, fifth playthrough where you're like, oh, I thought this was like a fun choice. That's like cool. And I enjoyed it when it came up. But now I actually sort of understand the game mechanic that's behind it. And it very kind of is like, it's there and you can learn it and you can understand it. But also it is more subtle. It's not like, you know, the choice is there and then it's like brackets. This is exactly what is going to happen. And I like that sort of discovery, and that matches with the whole sort of like the narrativization that this game has, where it's like a lot of settlement builders are purely mechanical, and this game, you know, has mechanics and like really has like super strong settlement city builder mechanics 100%, but it does have this like extra element that is very much there, and you know that is true up and down the game, and that's felt in a lot of different areas, and I think that's one where everything's not super obvious.
Well, cool thing. A few things I've got actually to go over here as well. But we actually had the traveling merchant come through.
Oh yeah.
Thankfully, you know, we're a little bit cashed up. So the fact that we can maybe buy some rope early on, get some extra firewood and get some stone, even though we have quite a bit of stone, you can never have too much stone. I don't know about you guys, but I can never ever have too much stone.
We're not going to go for...
We may as well look. We've got the cash, so why not buy? We'll just buy
not to flex.
Yeah, you know. So bang, we've bought everything from the merchant. So happy days. We've got some extra stuff there. We've still got cash to spare, but more importantly, one really cool thing is that I'm just gonna go over to our keep, as you can see, our lovely level 1 keep. Gonna come to the Tome of Knowledge. We're gonna unlock the tier 2. So as you can see, we get some new scaffolding up, and we'll soon have a new keep.
Yeah, that's sick. We can watch it for a bit. I also like that you put your keep separate from the rest of your town. Greg, I see that you kind of connect everything. Yours has this very specific, like, what if the people were separate from the keep? Not even a road connecting the two. You put a road around the keep to absolutely nothing, which I respect, you know. But yeah, love this design. And yeah, very cool to see it go from a tier 1 keep to a tier 2. Also cool that things are getting like taken down as well. Like it's not just up. It is, you know, certain things are being removed and replaced and like, you know, moved around. Yeah, love getting to watch the buildings be built.
I will be intrigued to, you know, get a reaction from the two of you on what you think of my particular layout of my city. I've spent many a time crafting it.
Yeah, I have a feeling. Yeah, you and me play pretty similar, George. Because it's you. That's kind of how I spread out my town as well. Yeah.
I keep everything near the keep, my people at least, because eventually I like to build like a nice wall around them and protect the people with my keep. So I don't know what you guys are
doing. Oh, we've got a house on fire.
All right, should we explain fires while it's happening? Would you like to explain?
Well, thankfully, I've got my well is quite close. There's a good amount in storage, so the fire is being put out. Although another building is now on fire again.
Oh, copycat! Oh my god!
Yeah. So as you can see, so when a building goes on fire, you'll see the lovely fire animation, and then they start delivering water to put it out. Thankfully, I have enough water in supply that I can do it. So you do have to be careful about your water storage as well and making sure you're managing that correctly. But as you can see, like, you know, the health of the house is going down. And I really hope that they put out the fire before it actually crumbles completely. Oh, there's another house on fire.
Oh my god,
such
a Greg
so
moment.
much on fire.
Oh god. Oh, 3 now. Yeah, but that's such a pretty animation.
I'm just happy it's not happening to me this time.
Yeah. So it's unfortunate. Hopefully, maybe this one here, it looks like it's getting a bit closer to completely burning down. So it's now definitely a race between, am I going to get enough water delivered there, or is it going to go?
And then 5th one's on fire.
Oh, geez.
We're like actually, so if you guys want to just like reset the stream, like if we can just like start again, like, I don't know.
I think it's quite funny. As all my houses are on fire, I get the Happy Houses narrative event.
Well, you put the panic in me. I just put all my production buildings on pause that use logs so I can get to the fire hall here pretty quick.
Oh, that's an interesting tactic.
I feel like we should do that because things are going poorly. The fire is spreading.
Well, we'll pause firewood for now.
Yeah, I mean, making firewood while your city is burning down is definitely a mood to be like, you know what this city needs? More firewood. This place ain't burning.
Well, I'm just trying to save up the logs to get to tier 2 of my keep, so that's where the fire hall is.
Well, I have lost one of my houses. I may lose more. Thankfully, though, we have the choice to repair the structure. A little bit of wood, a little bit of stone, or we can clear it completely. But like, if we clear it completely, I'm just going to have to build it again. Yeah. So I think I'd rather take the discount on the repair structure.
You're doing it mid-fire. You're not even waiting for it to burn out. You're like, let's get it right back up.
Oh, yeah, no, we're getting it right back up. Okay. Fires around me? No. Look, I like to keep my people home.
Yeah.
So, the sooner that we get them built, hopefully the happier that they will be overall. Oof, now my fire store is on fire. I'll be honest, it's been a while since my town's been on fire. So, kind of nice to actually... Perfect timing, I guess, to experience it almost.
Yeah, do you want to
explain? You built long sections of 10, right? 10 houses in a row? Ooh. Yeah, so it does take, obviously, the pathing from the well to your houses. It's going to take them a while to walk all the ways around. I've always built mine in sections of at least only 4 buildings, and yeah, my fire is perfectly fine and dealt with, so that they don't have to walk their buckets of water so far. Yeah,
there's a fighting words. Goddamn.
Well, it must be nice.
yeah, exactly. My people are very happy
about your fire control.
Yeah, I don't know what your problem is.
Well, I would say our people are very happy as well. We're still at 107 happiness, which is very good. And I don't want to say when I saw it go up to 122, I literally went, I didn't know it could go that high in my head. I was unaware. So I'm very impressed with, I'm glad to be on Team George here and not Team Alex, because Team Alex might be letting the team down. I mean, to have a fire destroy 9 houses and keep above 100 happiness the whole time, that's really good in my opinion.
Well,
you must have all their needs met. Yeah,
I am I have a very particular tactic, and that is anything that is a need outside of apples, because apples I just build as many as I can. I've always got at least 2 of those structures going at any given time, just to be on the safe side.
Yeah, which makes a lot of sense, and I should adopt. I'm learning here, and I wish I could say, oh, should we do this? We got another choice up here.
Yep, so we got happy houses now. So it's like, do we want to let people, go into their, indulges, or do we want to go the opposite way and just, temper things a little bit, or do we want to force people just to have extra people in their homes,
look, you can build houses pretty easily. I think we don't need to force people into a sort of tenement situation. I think we can...
So we can trust our instincts and let people just do their thing?
Yeah.
All right.
We can have a laissez-faire housing economy.
There we go. So I also have some more good news for you.
Yeah.
I'm going to auto-load this caravan, and you can take over and start the next province.
We're going to have province number 2. And it's like, I've been getting so many good pieces of tips and advice. And how many of them will I put into action? Some. And otherwise I'm gonna be freewheeling and dealing, doing my own thing. All right, cool.
What global population are you guys at?
So I'm currently sitting at 106.
Oh, 104, 103.
Because they're loading into the caravan. You're taking them away.
True. What are you guys at?
I'm at 270. I got 270 people in my main province right now. Yeah.
Wow. I'm just like a chump over here with my 100.
Mine's close to that. I'm at 143. So yeah, you really expanded, hey Greg? Pumped out those.
I go hard in the main province before I expand out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I basically try to already be able to support a second province before I move to the second province.
That's smart that you say that. See, I'm very similar in that sense, but I try and do it with as minimal people as possible.
Yeah, I like that tall versus wide approach though. And I love a game that does allow you to play tall. Like I think, Thrive really does encourage wide play as well. Like you kind of need to go to other provinces, which we can talk about in a bit, kind of mid and late game resources and stuff. But one of the things is you do want to go shift it up. So we're going to see here 2 of the resources, which if we click on the province map, we can see that, I'm gonna close that for now. We can see we have no iron in the starting province. No starting province has iron, but also no starting province has wheat. So that's one of the things to look for, which we can, see. So it's okay, I picked this one down here because we're going to want to start to get iron, which is going to be used for a bunch of stuff, and wheat, which is going to be really relevant for, expanding out away from farmers, which at the moment, I assume for us at least, is the only population that we have.
Yeah, so I'm very strategic that I don't go into the next phase of which are laborers until I already have a healthy supply of wheat and know I can get beer very quickly. So I like to stabilize everything first, and then I'll go through that next mass expansion.
Yeah. And the reason is because of happiness, right? Laborers need beer.
Yeah.
And, farmers need ciders, as we all know in real life. That's the classic thing. Everyone goes, a laborer needs a beer like a farmer needs a cider. The classic Canadian expression that we say over here as well.
Course, all the time.
Every day. All right, let me learn what you're doing here and then do entirely my own thing.
So realistically, the good thing about the town that I've set up, essentially, touch wood, you should be able to just let it do its thing, check on it every so often, just to make sure that nothing's on fire or that it's not completely burnt down.
Your town would never get on fire.
No, never.
It could never happen.
That hasn't happened. Definitely aren't unhappy people, but we are quite cashed up, so we might want to look at getting some more of that terminology soon.
All right, what's your faves? Do you go to tier 2 now that you've unlocked?
Pretty much, yeah. I start hitting up tier 2. I try and kind of get through the tiers quite quickly, and then I'll work my way backwards. So I feel like here, Firehouse, real good option to start with, to plan for the future.
Yeah, what do you guys go as your first unlock on tier 2?
Oh yeah, I'm at 85% on the Firehouse already. Yeah.
We'll brag about it.
Well, yeah. Gotta have something. Well, literally just now, as we say that, my fire just started. So I'm a little
There you go. Just looking at that percentage go up.
Yeah.
For myself, usually fire is not such an issue with the way I lay out my city. So I'm usually looking at the lumber yard for additional planks so I can construct more of those laborer houses and laborer buildings is my first go-to option.
So I've got a bit of a question for you too. I've recently started doing a new method in my early game where I get real min-maxy. And what I mean by that, it's I will build out structures quite quickly and then start taking away the people that are working in them to sort of have a few people working throughout all of them. How do you guys plan yours out? Do you do a similar thing? Do you play completely differently? Do you like the slow grind into building your people up? Where do you guys land on that?
For myself, I definitely, again, with my population at almost 280 here, I go hard in the houses just to make sure I can max out basically every building that I put down. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so then you don't have to play with the job menu too much, hey, Greg?
I monitor the job menu to make sure. I mean, I have 112 people unemployed right now, so I monitor the job menu to make sure that I have like a good pool of people to like if I put down new buildings to be ready to go. But I don't. Right at the start of the game, I might move around a couple of the buildings just to kind of get the one that I really need. Like if I need the wood shop a little more than the apple, I might start before the houses have been created. But once I kind of get the base going, I pump out the houses and try to get as many people as I can working.
Yeah, for myself, that early game, I'm moving people around a lot, especially if we are in multiplayer. To try to get the edge on other players, I do move my people around a lot. If I'm playing single player, then I take the approach a little more like Greg, just have a lot of just overproduce houses so that I have a lot of unemployed. But multiplayer, I'm moving them around a lot at the start of the game, including one of the main things that I like doing is building the primitive stockpile. Because it's a free building, so I build it really close to where the rocks and lumber is, right where they're cutting trees. But then I just remove all the workers there, so because they just need to make deliveries, so I don't waste the additional resources of anyone working at that primitive stockpile. I just have it there so all the deliveries can come in faster.
Yeah, interesting you say that. I've learned that recently, and that has now become my go-to strat.
There you go. Yeah,
and like. I've been playing this game for a little while now, and I don't know how it never clicked sooner, but once it clicked, I was like, this is a game changer for me. Because like I'll sometimes just build a primitive stockpile in the middle of nowhere in my province and then just cover farms around it for hemp and and wheat. So then that way it can just do its own little thing to the side there, and I don't really have to manage it too much.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of like having like my farm field area. So yeah, I have like just the food market or whatnot that doesn't really need any workers at, and just build farms all around it. And then that usually transitions to once I have additional provinces. My first trade routes is usually me taking goods from my main province to my second province to give them a boost. Yeah. So I may switch over all the apples and cider and clothing and firewood. So those first 4 resources that your people need when they start a new town, I usually am shipping all those over to them right away to give them a boost on population.
Nice. Now you're definitely going for a very different layout to me, Alex.
Yeah.
I've been sort of itching to kind of ask the question. So please explain to me the method here.
I go for a pure vibes approach.
Okay.
I just put down the building I want to do next, and I just put that wherever I think makes sense in the context of the previous building that exists. Mm-hmm. And then I put down the next building, and I follow that logic. I'm like, where would this one go next? And that's it. That's the entire line of thinking. It's pure just like, oh, I don't know, this would be nice. This would be nice. There's no holistic scheme that I have going in my head. There's no overarching structures I'm going for. But what that means is every single time I play the game, I have an entirely different looking town.
Yep, perfect.
Because, it's the same thing like when I would play Wordle. I always just pick a different word, right? I'm not one of these people that has like a standard like ado, it has the most vowels. And I don't want to disparage anyone that does that, but I don't respect you as a human being, right? Like for me, it's like I'm living in the moment. Like, yeah, I could be like min-maxing every day of my life, but it's like, I can min-max a little, but I also like living a little bit free. And like I was before going to be like, Brandon, I also do a 4, like little block structure. And here I am suddenly finding myself in a 3 block structure. Don't know how that came to be. I think it's one of the first times I've ever done that. But I mean, that's the whims of how I play.
The curious question though is so you're gonna have a lot of unhappy people very quickly.
Name 7 reasons why.
Well, thankfully you're finally building a well, but there's a stockpile that might be missing as well.
Stockpile? What do you mean? I have one there and there.
And it's outside of range of those houses.
Yeah, well they'll get look. He's Louise. Oh my god. Fine. Yeah. Fair enough with your accurate deductions of my poor infrastructure. All right. Yeah, there we go. I was a bit.
That's better.
That's better.
Still looks like you have some houses outside of the stockpile, though.
Oh my.
You could just build another stockpile.
Ugh, in this economy?
We have so much gold, it's not even funny.
Well, that's why I'm saying in this economy, I certainly will. Sorry, did my tone not indicate that I thought that was a superb idea?
I thought we were trying to go a bit, we're scrolling away all of our gold here. We have the firehouse now.
Yeah, not going to build that. I am worried. I am scared of no ghost. But I am scared of more allocation of employees. Employees? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm too big manager to know the difference between, to know what an employee term is. I'm part of the elite over here. Don't need as much of that. Don't need as much that. And by that, I mean, this is really specific for you guys, but the people watching, they know what I'm about.
We're going down that route of min-maxing.
Sure.
That's good. It's looking good.
All right, cool.
I need a little bit of that too.
Sweet. And then let's start to build some of these bad boys.
I reckon, get some of that stuff. You know what you could do though, is we could go check out in the old city.
The old city, it's probably burnt to the ground. I don't even want to look at it.
I was going to say,
but go on.
You could set up a trade route, so then that way you could have some resources going back and forth.
I think that's a great idea. And I will pass it back to you after I place this somewhere. Yeah, perfect. That's going to go in there. And then we'll get a couple more farms going. And then we can set up a trade route.
Rank that wheat.
Yeah, that wheat needs to be online. I was incredibly conservative with it for no real reason.
Really want to get it in the lines, though.
I do.
Yeah, see, you've got it as well.
Yeah, no, I got a bit. I'm not like crazy. I'm not like pure ad hoc. I just, I'm a little ad hoc,
Just introduce a little bit of the chaos to, everything else.
I mean, it's not like it's unorganized. It's still a grid system.
Yes, no, true.
It's just, there isn't a predetermined, I'm going to do it exactly like this mentality.
I have been known at a time or two to completely delete 90% of a town because one building didn't fit correctly.
I'm thinking I'm going to place these down.
Yep.
I'm just going to set it up a little bit more, and then we set up a trade route, and then we can reinvestigate. Old Town. I feel like, do you guys name your places in your mind? Or do you just let them be the name of the province?
Oh, definitely. But they're more like descriptive. It's like Wheat Town and Iron Town. And
what resource you're getting from
I'm not exactly the most creative for the naming process. Yeah. Same with my trade routes. I do the same with my trade routes. It's like wheat and iron.
That's actually a smart thing. I always forget to name my trade routes, and I always have to check them every so often to be like, which one's which now?
All right, cool.
Yeah, I guess if you change the name, then it tells you, then I guess you can always remember what it was doing, hey?
That's it.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else you're sensing I need to set up for this? I think it's got the basics, right?
No, I think it's got the basics. The thing is there's a bunch of the resources that what the plan will be is I'll just start setting them over.
Let's do that.
Well, all right.
Pass it back.
Let's go.
And you can check out Main Town, or what do you want to call your province?
The superior one.
Oh, that's the joke I was gonna make. I was gonna just say whatever you said, and then I was gonna be like, "Oh, I'm superior, like Othgard or whatever."
Oh, we got a couple of unhappy people here.
Classic Georgetown. Am I superior? Sounds like you're overcompensating in name.
Don't you worry. Firstly,
I got.
Go on.
I was just gonna say I kind of crowded my houses a little too much, so they're a little unhappy. I'm trying to get my upgrades to the stockpile and the food market so they can deliver a little faster.
Oh yeah, they're a little bit overworked there.
A little bit, yeah. I'm like 80 some percent on the stockpile upgrade, and then I'll go to the food market next.
Go across some firewood. Yes, I can spare some apples for your town.
Wow. We're playing the same game, and somehow we are like more competitive with each other than we are with the actual sort of opponents of ours. Have you guys investigated diplomacy with yourselves yet? Or between the two of you?
No, but yeah, we could definitely, I guess you can request an alliance to see each other's town if you wanted.
Well, after we do our trade route, we can start investigating doing diplomacy with you guys, and we can start talking about diplomacy. But George, do you want to explain the trade system and how it works as you are setting it up?
So basically what you're doing is, as you're going through, you're selecting your provinces on where you want to send from one trader's hut to the next trader's hut. So once you've locked in the two locations that you're sending to, you can kind of see on the side here where you're sending and where you're receiving. So every time I add something in the send, you'll see it in the receive of the other. You also have to make sure you have a caravan available. So you want to then add that caravan to this as well. And then all you got to do is click the plus and sort of go, okay, well, what do I want to send across? So like I can spare some firewood, I can spare some cider, and I can spare some apples as well. So I'm kind of going to give you not too much because it will go back and forth. I have made the mistake in the past before of being like, yeah, I'm going to send a heap. And then I'm like, oh, wait, now my town doesn't have anything anymore. So you definitely want to be careful on that sense as well.
Wait. Hey, guys, what's up?
Oh.
Sorry, I was just on OBS. It is just us. So, hey, everyone.
Hello.
Hey.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. And I clicked there.
Oh, it's all, there's like these number pads down here.
My bad. So I'm so used to using numpads. All right, so once you got everything all set up, we then press accept. And then the trade route has begun. So if I zoom out, you will see our lovely caravan is leaving one province to the superior one.
Oh, no.
And to collect, some materials. At the moment, it's only one way. I'm donating to you to help your team out there and your guys. But once you do have wheat, I am going to start needing some wheat in return.
Yeah, well, I feel like maybe changing that language first is going to be a necessity. I think,
But I think what we definitely need to do is we are getting low on our stone for our quarrier within its range there. So let's move this over here, and let's get some more trees happening. We're going to move you to over here, and then we're going to get rid of this and then build a new stock between the two here for them to then deliver to. And I think I've got a fair amount of employed people probably. Yep, so we don't need to worry about maxing there. Let's get a quick terminology in here. What are we thinking? Should we go maybe some extra hemp?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Easy done. All right, let's continue with the hemp. And there we go. So do we want to set up some alliances, you were saying?
Before that, do you guys want to explain why you guys made the choice of you only get one camp, so either a logger's camp or a quarry's camp per province, and there's only a set amount of workers, 6, which for the most part you're basically just going to have 6 workers working them at all times. Do you guys want to maybe talk about choice of how it came to be that you can't add more lumber camps around to get more trees in any given province?
Do you want to start with that one, Greg?
Sure. I mean, the main reason is we didn't want, it's a more primitive way of collecting trees and rocks. And we didn't want to take up too much of your population at the start, because you do need them to work the rest of your buildings. And we wanted to have a more, attractive or a more advanced structure eventually to process those goods. So eventually you do come across buildings that you can place more of, there is a forester hut then he goes and plants trees and collects the trees to get more. And you can still have your original camp as well. So that adds to being able to collect logs. And with the rocks, we do have large quarry structures that you can build to fill with, and build multiples of, to fill with your population to then collect more. So we just made it a primitive way at the start to kind of collect, and then have a more advanced way later on.
Yeah. No, it's cool. I think it also really forces you to expand. and it like forces you to like start to adopt like different parts of the map. Like even if, and I'm curious, it sounds like Greg, you might be much more of a have a center and like centralize, but I do think it creates an interesting choice and like different play style of it's like, do you want to sort of like decentralize where you basically are creating a bunch of towns that are about equal in size, right? Where it's like you build up a town and then you kind of go to the next one and sort of like put in the time and effort. And as we're saying, like, you know, sending caravans as we just did to your new town to help it build and grow to get to like that similar size faster. Or do you like to set up a new town and have it be the opposite, where it's like the main reason you have that town is so your like major city can be the big thing, and those like subsidiary cities basically just exist to create like one mega city, megaopolis. And I think that's cool that you kind of can play those different ways and both are valid, and those sort of like ways you use trade routes and the way you kind of expand, how you think about the map and how you think about your different towns can be entirely different between two players, and there's not a better or worse. It's literally just like preferential play style.
Yeah, one of the things that sometimes I even end up doing is not so much setting up an automatic trade route, because I'll just use it here and there, but have a caravan free, and I will go grab like the logs and stone from one of my other provinces to take a big chunk of it back to my main one.
Yeah, like one of the things I've done is set up a new place, literally just like build enough houses for 20 people. Like I don't even really want to expand. Just set the camps and then just trade route the logs and stones back to my main city. Like I'm like, I will reprioritize you later. I'm literally just doing it so I can get those key resources and just keep expanding the main. And you basically are just going to sit on 20 pop and just hang out and own, like your job is wood and stone, you know, very much like that's why you were created and that's what you're about.
That's what you exist for. Yeah. No, that's very true. You definitely can do that. Yeah, that's the first time me hearing that, but that, I mean, yeah, that definitely works within Thrive. Yeah.
I mean, especially if you like, you know, you can do it with stone, trees, and iron. Like I just set up those three, and then you know, have a well or whatever, and then that's basically it. And you maybe need to expand a little bit, but it'll be pretty self-sufficient. If you want to go to like 30, 40, get the basic needs, get firewood, get like, you know, cider. Your pop can be perfectly happy. And if you don't build more houses, you'll never expand. So as long you can kind of hit that balance, that equilibrium of happiness and production. And it's like, because you can't get any more resources than that amount, you are sort of maxing out that province. And it does mean that, like, you know, really aggressive expansion, especially in a multiplayer setting like this, where, you know, once you get that province, you kind of have it. I mean, it can be taken from you, obviously, but people are going to be much less likely to, you know, set up the effort to take it from you. But speaking of, let's go to war. No, let's set up diplomacy. Let's zoom out, because we've looked at our two provinces, and let's see how these other ones are going. So you guys both have two provinces as well.
Let me out. Diplomacy. And what we do is we want to request an alliance with each of them.
Oh, I thought we were going to request with one and then attack the other, and we were going to, you know, make them send us trade.
See, I think the better thing to do is you request alliances with both of them, then you declare war once you're ready.
Yeah.
You go there, I'm going to stab you in the back now.
Move all your troops to right beside them, and then
My troops are merely passing through. Perfect. Yes. So
here we have.
This is Brandon.
Yeah,
Brandon, we are looking at your main city. Do you want to explain your layout this is beautiful, by the way.
Wow.
This is very different.
Yeah, like
this is really cool.
We've got walls, we've got long stretches of road.
Yeah, lately I've been doing this on more, again, just one of the neat things, you know, you can change up how you build your city. So the last few play sessions I've had, kind of still have my farmers way off to one side, and then my keep and production are close together, and I've been lumping that in with the farm fields to go around them and kind of keeping the production in the middle. And then I've been enjoying building my laborers in their own little section fenced off. So they got the full wall around with the gates you can open and close, giving them that little extra protection. And that's where I like to build my vaults, is in there as well, making it harder for the Grimrot later in the game to get your coin. So I usually throw the vaults in this little area as well. And then I'm currently, trading to the north here. Pretty primitive town right now. It just got the real necessity, just getting that wheat and iron back. But to get fish, that's probably my next sort of goal here, is to set up some laborers that are in my second province to start collecting some fish to send back before I make that jump to the next labor population cap of 20.
That's a very interesting layout.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, now let's see. Have we still... Oh, no.
Wow, Greg not accepting the alliance.
Greg not wanting to accept the alliance there.
I'm too entranced in what I'm up to. I'm starting to get my second one going here. Let me see here. Diplomacy.
The suspense.
Yeah, the suspense. I mean, killing me? Maybe not, but I'm excited.
He's got his secret army
in the back.
Yeah.
Me oh my. Yeah, do you want to explain your town as we look at it?
Yes, you guys are the main town.
Yeah,
right?
we're in your main province at the moment.
I'll come over there. I'm over in the new zone. So yeah, I have my farmers kind of down the central there. Again, I cram as many houses as I can together in the little circles. Way overpopulated. I mean, I think I still have 100 unemployed, so I'm ready to go if I need to like put down some production buildings quick and make something new.
It is cool that we can see your population.
Yeah.
Like we're zoned in on you and your province.
And
we
then
can see how many caravans
I have over on the right side, I have like my little production zone where I have my lumber and my outfitters, and I kind of keep all that together so I can kind of, if I need to know where something's being made, everything's being made there. And then my farms I kind of put around the outside of the whole thing. And eventually, when I do get to walls, I have been a little lazy. I guess I haven't got my walls up yet. I'll put the walls around the central core of like just the people in the keep, trying to keep them safe. I don't care as much about the farmlands. If somebody comes and wants to burn down my farmlands, I can replace those easy. Yeah.
Well, hopefully they don't.
Yeah, if you guys are nice or not. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at your second province. Okay, nice. So similar to Brandon as well, like just getting it started, really honing in on that wheat production.
Yeah, this will be like my main wheat. Wheat and fish will be what I'll be pumping out of here as well. Sending it back to the main town. So just got to just get enough of like farmers and laborers to kind of get that going.
Oh, very good, very good. Are you learning some tips and tricks on
I'm learning so many tips and tricks, but I think it's really cool that when you zone in, it's like we can see how many population. I mean, having 88 population in your second city is kind of crazy. Like you really, you're really about
91
that.
Now.
Yeah, 91. You're really about that pop meta.
How does that compare?
I can see your guys' town now though, so that's pretty cool. Much more decorative. You got some nice little trees going through the center, and I like that.
So yes, I very much build everything in mind in sort of like that square layout. And kind of
right.
So once I eventually start moving into laborers, it won't even be connected. It'll be its own separate. I kind of call them like suburbs within the province.
I like that.
You have the farmer suburb where they do all the farmer things, and you'll have the labor section separate. And then eventually, like when I get a bit later on, then I start walling them off, and then getting that ability of sort of keeping them both separated in that regard.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously then we have Alex's, and then,
Guys, it's not even that bad. What do you mean? What?
Hey, you got 44 people here. I think you might need to get some more people employed.
Yeah. I'm all about that pop meta. That's where I'm at. No one's in the miners camp. Oh my god. Deary me.
No, it's because you're maxed out.
I maxed out on...
You've maxed out on all.
Oh, okay. I need another storage house?
No. As in, like, you need to start using it.
Oh, okay.
So what you could do if you want to be nice, because I'm giving you so many resources.
Yeah.
Maybe, you want to update that trade route and start sending some resources back to me.
Yeah, like, we've got you know, no pitch is a bad pitch, but we'll like keep it on the maybe pile for sure.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. How do I pause? How do I update a trade route? This button?
That button there, throw it in there. Then go back to the second one there. There you go, iron ore. Now, then you can send it all in one hit, or just like you can dribs and drabs it across.
Well, we're doing 30 at a time for the others.
Yeah, okay. So I'll take 30 in return. And that's now updated, and then that will now start giving me that in return.
Yeah, great. Yeah, do you guys want to talk about like your reason for splitting up farmers and laborers into different groups, and kind of, I guess, the general mechanical difference between the two?
Yeah. You want me to go, Greg?
Sure.
So yeah, obviously what you can see now is the farmers and the laborers, which are the two classes that unlock during your sort of what we call neutral play session. So before you go benevolent or tyrannical, then more additional classes do unlock there. But we always really like the gameplay mechanic of expanding out so that the later on classes require additional goods that do tie into the goods that your lower class citizens need. So it forces you to continue building out those smaller production chains, and it creates a bottleneck as you supply the needs to the higher class citizens. It forces you to go back and supply additional of the same resources to your lower tiers as those goods get spread around. So that's the main reason behind it. It creates a very unique feedback loop as you're providing the goods and needs that your higher tier classes need. It forces you to go back and build up your production buildings of the lower tiers as well.
And Adderbeast is destroying my lower tiers right now.
Should we go check that out?
Let's go have a look.
Yes. I mean, we have not built any walls. We have 0 defense, and we are cruising. So I'm glad we're not. Do you guys want to explain what this is? This monster that
is. So as you kind of build and disturb the land, you're creating like the Walgrim kind of is in the world, and you unlock more of that, and different things will happen. So as at the top, you kind of have this purple meter that fills up as you kind of build more things and days go by. And it causes, like, I've already had where my food got spoiled and I lost 50% of my food. It's not always bad. Sometimes there can be something nice will happen to you. But there, yeah, he kind of spawned for a period there. He walked in my town and back murdering my stuff again. So yeah, one of the things is the Adderbeast will come to, wreck your things. He also, in later games, he will just be spawning on the map as an actual creature, instead of like a timed event. He's actually alive and in the world. So, oh wow,
yeah, very cool. Yeah, I like the sort of interactivity and like aliveness of the world. There are things that are outside of your control, and you sort of are affecting them and impacting them, but they're not just. It's not just a set. Here's like a blank canvas of a province. Like, even though it is a predetermined map, there is a level of kind of things change and there's dynamics, and it's kind of a to and fro of how you are interacting with sort of your expansion. And the world sort of pushes back, and it doesn't feel one way. And that's both true things like the Outerbeast attacking you, as you said, and obviously sort of. I mean, we haven't really talked about it, but the big threat that looms in the middle of the map, which is the previously existing empire. Which we can talk about in a bit, but I think let's talk a little bit about what we're doing as far as laborers and some of the different resources. So, George, do you want to explain what you're building?
Yeah, of course. So at the moment, so with laborers, I like to kind of expand out a little bit slower, because you can very easily, I find, get away from you very quickly if you just go expand, and then all of a sudden you end up with a lot of unhappy people, and that's the last thing you want to do when you're trying to, really start your settlement up. So essentially,
that is the mistake I make every time. I like unlock laborer houses and I'm like, if it's unlocked, I should be building 70 of them. And then I'm just like going, and then I'm like, why are people in revolt?
Yeah. See, and again, this comes down to the beauty of the more you play, the more you learn. Yeah. So at the moment, I'm just sort of starting off pretty simple, getting a craftsman. I can start getting rope and pulling in that resource to eventually start building out more things. So for example, one thing that's important is well, you need rope so you can build another caravan. So then you can start multiple trade routes. Maybe in a crazy world, maybe we start a third province.
And look, we live in crazy times, crazy world. And I think that's definitely on the cards, especially since Province 2 is living large and fast and large. And Province 3 really needs to be, there to like get in the slipstream of its younger brother. Yeah, Province 3 is somehow an older sibling.
So, and one of the other things as well that I'll point out here, is, as you can see, like buildings have all these needs, and then they've got all these luxuries. Now, a lot of these are unlocked when you hit a certain population level. So what I try to do is, same thing with farmers, it's a similar thing that I like to do with laborers, is I like to stabilize the things that they need before and as I'm increasing the population. So then that way, once it grows out, like they've got everything they need from the get-go. And then by the time I grow out more and more and more, everyone's always got what they need. But like it is definitely a very good, big balance of how slow and how quick do I do this. Because you don't want to go too slow that you then start removing other resources and losing other resources, or too quickly that, again, you end up with a lot of people just unhappy and revolting. Now, here's the fun part though. I'm going to move back over to our keep. Since we now have unlocked the ability. Oh, I need some more planks.
That's why we need laborers.
No, so they're farmers still. But
for the emotional support.
Well, yes, but what the problem is all your farmer stuff actually requires planks to build. So in the lovely thing that I like to do is build 2 of everything that requires a particular resource, because it'll just keep you on top of it.
It's probably also building one in Province 2 as well. Really get those planks going. Maybe even get that second trade route up. Start to make that a bit of a plank manufactory, perhaps.
Well, we could, yes.
That's a possible play. On what we talked about before with population, though, Greg, as someone who pushes population, right? So George is like very conservative in the sense of like make sure the needs are going to be met, or if not already like pre-met, before expanding into that population size. Is that your approach, or do you kind of build pop needs second?
So I guess it's per tier I make my decision. So with farmers as the base of like the pyramid kind of thing that you're trying to make with the populations, I go hard on farmers. Now, I just noticed that like I'm now bringing back iron ore and I'm bringing back wheat, and I just noticed that I haven't unlocked those buildings yet for my labor. So I try to keep everybody happy. Maybe not as much the farmers, because like they're at the start, I'll worry about them later. But every population class after that, since usually their items are a little bit more complex to create and you can't just quick fix it, I will definitely hold off on the populations until I am ready to. So like I said, I'm already bringing back the iron. I'm already bringing back the wheat. Now I'm going to be expanding to expanding the labor pool to get to that they'll unlock those needs. So it's class by class, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yes, that is one of the things I love is that like there is a grander complexity to these answers than like, yeah, I always do this thing, because I do think there is situational. And as you get better, you learn like, oh, this theory applies. Like, oh, I want to make sure these needs are met for this like section of unlocks I'm about to get, but that might not apply for the next section. And at first you're probably going to like just have a base rule. And you get that more complexity, more depth, and start to realize, no, I can push it in this way. I can like crank it and I'll be able to fix it later. And other times you're like, that's actually going to destroy me if I do that. And you really start to find that balance as you like play through the game and have these unlocks and have these issues, as you play on your different playthroughs.
I don't know if I'm wrong or not, Brandon, but I feel like you played the opposite. Like, you care more about like you have the smaller population to start, and then once you get the next guys, you kind of just pump them out to unlock as much things as you can.
They can revolt for a little bit. It'll be fine. Yeah, they're a little bit upset, but yeah, it's all good.
Check if your other provinces doing okay.
No, I was gonna say check if there's a revolt happening. I was gonna say, should we see how's that going at the moment?
Not yet. No, we're doing actually okay this time. But yeah, Greg is right. Normally I have a revolt pretty early. I just had finished dealing with a huge fire in my production area because I forgot the firehouse there originally, but got most things rebuilt now.
Yeah, what was the thing you went for instead? We were both like firehouse, and then you were like, fermenter, let him drink or whatever.
Yeah, usually the outfitters are lumber. So I was a little late. More so getting my fire out, but usually the wells do a pretty good job as long as they have good transportation roads to reach the buildings. But I mostly had my fire halls in place already, but I forgot my production area, which does have an increased chance of fire, all the lumber yards and outfitters in those production buildings. So that is where the fire hit, and most of it burnt to the ground. But we're almost all back up and running. Just my pig farm, my pig ranch is left.
I mean, and that's the most important thing. And I think we got to start getting a pig ranch. I mean, do I dare go against... So I'm back in my second province. Do I dare completely disregard every piece of information that's just been said? And with my...
You got some unhappy people there now.
That was great. I was like, look at us. I've got 66 pop. We're at like 70, 80 happiness or whatever. Instantly a revolt spawned as... mid-conversation. Okay, so what's going on here? What happened?
So you're low on luxuries, you're low on firewood, you're low on apples. You're kind of... all you currently have is a stockpile, a food store, and a well with nothing in them.
Okay.
So...
Okay. That's fine.
And that's me sending you resources too.
Yeah, we get it.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see what's going on with these trade routes. I mean, there's plenty of apples.
We can maybe increase the amounts.
I think that's the play. And I think, how much cider is there? I think we just send raw cider. I think we are sending both.
You're sending apple cider, so click on that one there. So click on, say, for example, the apples or the cider, and just increase that number. Don't send it all.
It's not all. It's most. Like, Town 2 needs it. We're in peril.
You might want to update the apples, the fire. You don't take too much firewood because I haven't got a lot of that. But up everything a little bit.
Nice round numbers.
Yep.
Perfect. That's how I get down.
41. How did you manage to get the one on every single thing?
I don't know.
That's got to be a skill.
Yeah. So I increased it to 41, 51, and 61 for reference.
Yes.
So perfectly round.
So there we go. We're good to go. So yeah. Oh, you've taken away your lumber. So just click decline. So then that way it'll save what it had already.
I'm panicking.
All right. Just get it back in there.
Oh my God.
What are you,
George, I need help. I need a parent.
All right, let's get that. Nah,
it's my first time ever using a keyboard and a mouse.
41. For accepting, we're good. Okay, so you got 41 of everything. Happy days. But what you can see is I may or may not have made a new caravan.
Perfect.
So yes. Shall we get it loaded up and get ready for a third province?
I like that. Yeah, 100%. And I think province 2. Look, we sent a caravan. It's not working out, and sometimes you got to cut your losses. You do what you can when you try to, get a good new province going. But sometimes if it doesn't work out, you just got to go province 3. And I think that's the strategy we're doing. Province 2, inferior province, which I think we can now officially call it. It's done. It's lost. And if it comes back, that's great. Joy to the world. But, province 3 was always my baby, was always my first love. And province 2 was merely, a temporary thing.
All right. Get this loaded up.
And yes, with the adder beasts that attack Greg and the Walgrim surge bar at the top, you are able to slow that down by building Grim Stores, which is an event that I just got through here, unlocking the building to collect the Grim crystals that spawn on the map. So then that will help protect you from having so many surges as often. But it does require you to process some flax into the flax oil to keep the crystals safe. Otherwise, that Grimstore can explode on your town.
Hopefully the caravan.
Yeah, hopefully it comes. I mean, but that's the kind of thing where it's like, I really like that. It's like, as you said, it's always there's good but bad. Well, not always, but like usually there's a trade-off, right? Like nothing really is ever just like a pure good or a pure easy win or a pure something, right? There's like always got to be something that makes it a little bit difficult, something that you have to like keep in mind. So as you said, it's like, oh, you got to get flax. Like you can do this thing to slow it down, but if you're not getting that flax oil, you know, that's a hazard. That's an issue. And yeah, it's cool to see that as like a through line in just like so many different aspects of the game, which is why I kind of on the point we were making before, Brandon, you totally weren't about this and neither was I, but I think you have a better handle in the game than I do, which is that sort of like conservatism in making sure that you like kind of have each stage that you unlock sort of, you know, managed before you go to the next thing is really important. Because, you know, the game does allow you to like crank it and like do a bunch of different things. You'll unlock bunch of different buildings and you can like, you know, expand really quickly. But if you're not on top of it, you know, you'll look at your province and be going, my, how good is it? And all of a sudden the entire city will be in revolt and you'll have to beg your main town to bail you out.
Exactly, yeah. That's the main aspect of Pride.
Yeah. Unhappy people, but we're slowly climbing back.
Yeah.
We're out of the revolt now, so we're happy.
What is their unhappiness? Is it justified?
Well, let's find out.
Let's find out. Let's see.
Let's see. What are these people? These people are still missing firewood, apples, cider, and clothing.
Oh my God, get over it.
Well, some of them have clothing though, which is, I guess, a good thing. So
should we set up? I feel like maybe just building a couple more hemp.
I think actually what you need is apples.
I do need apples.
I think we need to get some apple farms in
Matt Damon. How do I like them apples? The bereft. I like them available.
It's your province. I shouldn't be doing that for you.
No.
And it just made me realize I'm out of apples too. Yeah, I managed to use them all up. So yeah,
the great apple shortage of day 16. It'll go down. Let's get apples
that here.
Really commit to the bit of surviving. All right.
So there is a second caravan waiting if you just want to start with the new province from scratch.
How dare you? How dare you say something so confrontational and so possibly good suggestion? Let's move that over there. We'll start with a new province in a bit, but like I just want to make sure this one's kind of doing okay, kind of on top of it. And I think it's basically redeemable. We just need a couple more things. You know, I'm building apples. We need hemp. So like we can actually talk about how I'm going to redeem this because like, you know, we're jokingly saying like we're going to abandon this province. But like, okay, what do we need? We need apples so we can build an orchard, right? So we're building that up. And that'll be good.
You need some hemp to make some clothing.
Yeah. So, you know, we also have 18 unemployed people. So in the Greg meta of have them unemployed. You know, so cool. I'm going to build some farms and build them up here like this. I do see that out of the ring. You know what? We'll build it down here like this. Nice and long.
You can go super long if you want to.
I could go super long, but I'm actually going to do instead 2 separate farms like that. So we can have a road in between. So they're not kind of cut off from one side of the city to the next. Like that. Oh, wait. Let's next to the road. Because the reason we're making hemp is we need hemp for clothing. We need apples for apples. Which will also be useful for cider, which is like one of the other issues that we're having.
Cider I'm sending to you, so you'll be okay with cider.
Yeah, the cider's okay. The apples are kind of coming in now that we've built this farm. Stone and
you got plenty.
Yeah, this is something that we could set up third province and then possibly get the log and the stone and send it to that province if we want to go crazy fast on expand.
Yeah, correct. We can do that. And instead of what we can do as well, instead of setting up a trade route like Brandon was talking about earlier, just loading up the caravan in there, taking the resources you want, and then doing it that way instead.
Yeah.
Which can be quite useful, to be honest.
I'm also, something we talked about a little bit before, we do have a lot of wood, and I think building 2, what are they called? Lumber yards to make planks that could be really good, especially if we're going to like want to expand province 3. We could send stone, we could send wood, we could send planks, and we could send wheat.
Maybe we turn it into a laborer's town.
Yeah, we could make a laborer's town. That's kind of going to be the play of the day. But that does mean we're going to have to set up for a second. Oh, let's get back on 2-speed. Okay, what do you guys need? Okay, you still need firewood. So let's also build...
You got a wood chopper?
We have 1 wood chopper. But as you said, you like to do 2. And I think that's smart.
2 of everything is like a good way to, I find, to sort of stabilize a lot of resources. But like at the same time, like, you know, you look at, say, you know, the size of Greg's town or even Brandon's, like once your population grows bigger and bigger, like Greg, for example, how many wood choppers do you have?
Well, I do have the wood chopper bonus, but
what does that bonus do exactly? Do you want to explain?
Yeah, so in my Tomb of Knowledge, I picked I increase my firewood by 100%, but then I need an additional worker in each of the buildings. So I'm getting more firewood out. I mean, they're all honestly, I just had a fire and they all burned down. But I did have 3 previous to the giant fire that just hit me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of making it, so I feel like soon I'll be needing to make more. Yeah. Yeah, and then, like, as far as like outfitters too, like with my clothing, I have like 3 outfitters. Actually, I just built a 4th. So yeah, you definitely are needing multiple of some of these buildings. Yeah.
Definitely, like I find, like you've got to really like stay on top of that fine balance of overproduction and underproducing.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think that's one of the things that I personally actually really like about this game. It's just like, you know, the economy management side of it is like, it's in depth without being daunting, and on top of that, it's like it is rewarding when you get it right.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
Yeah, it is nice when you can just sit back and kind of relax for a few minutes sometimes.
That's it. Like it's almost like you're creating like a nice little engine of production, and you can almost set and forget.
Which we're gonna do exactly that here. Very much in the set and forget mode. Hemp farm. And I am ready to forget. I'm ready to move on emotionally and mechanically. Do that. There's more houses here. I'm going to clean up these roads.
Okay. You do.
I'm stressing. When you're like, I'm sitting back and relaxed, and I have just this like cooked posture. I'm like leaning in. I'm like, oh, this city build is stressing me out.
To be honest, though, sometimes I like to actually have a bit of space between the road and some of the things, almost like I'm creating like a mini parkland in the town, even though like the province is, you know, so large.
Yep.
You know, sometimes you want some like internal parkland.
Totally makes sense. Not me, baby. Every step taken must be a step towards productivity, both metaphorically and non-metaphorically for these people.
Actually, I guess that's probably a question to ask the two of you. What is the biggest province you've ever like single-handedly managed?
Ooh. Population-wise, I've definitely made it into like over 1,000.
Wow.
And I mean, the main province are the main ones are the largest ones, and I was getting to the point where I was getting close, not too much. Like I did want to put some walls around things, so you leave some gaps for that, but I was running out of space, I felt like.
Damn, that is.
But 1,000 is crazy. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and that was
me,
just in the one province.
Yeah, closer to 700. I didn't feel the space getting too tight yet, but I did take one of those additional other starting provinces, so I kind of had, 2 medium-sized towns, I would say, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, wow. I'm trying to think what my biggest one is, but I definitely don't think I've hit that level. Like I said, because like I'm so like min-maxy with this game that it's like I'm always trying to get the most out of like the just enough people. But I think probably the biggest I've probably had across like 3 provinces is probably maybe sort of the 600 mark across multiple, but never like that in one.
I will say, I'll take this moment. One of the issues that we were having in this town, and this is a good thing to do, is we've talked a little about it before, but the jobs tab. So I had poor job organization. One of the issues is we didn't have any firewood. We are sending it, and that's great. But I didn't have the wood chopper, like it was all the way at the bottom, so we had 0 people working it. Because of that, my province wasn't cutting any wood or making firewood. And that's one of the huge reasons that, there wasn't any firewood. Similarly, we didn't have anyone working the apple orchard. Instead, we had like 16 people working the hemp farm, which is, useful because we do need clothing.
This might be one of the most innovative city building games of 2024. It's a game called Thrive, Heavy Lies the Crown, and I played the Steam Next Fest demo for it back last February, but the game is finally coming to early access on November 6th. And what makes this game unique is that it's a multiplayer city building game with RTS combat and moral choices that will take you down the path of benevolence or tyranny. You can also form alliances with your friends, trade resources between cities, and go to war together to conquer the map. The game's also fully playable in single player as well, and that's what we'll be doing today. This is also a sponsored video, so click that link cities and go to war together to conquer the map. The game's also fully playable in the single player.
You have one wood chopper
in the single player as well.
Yeah. So maybe I think one of the issues is I didn't build a wood chopper in this place, which is why when we came back to it, it was having,
it wasn't
an issue.
Yes.
It was a bunch of suki campers rather than happy campers. Probably don't need that many, but I'm going to build them just because they fit together. But then I will got that down. But yeah, this should be on the way. And this is the kind of thing like you need to look at of just like,
be one of the most innovative city building games of 2024. It's a game called Thrive.
It's good because you can't expand out and then you have issues.
Heavy Lies the Crown. And I played the Steam Next Fest demo for it back last February.
You just need to look. Okay, I need firewood. That requires, then I'll build wood choppers and we'll get firewood going. Make sure, checking, hey, is that, being worked? And all of these kind of questions. And we don't need quite so many. Put that down.
This might be one of the most innovative city building games of 2024. It's a game called Thrive, Heavy Lies the Crown, and I played the Steam Next Fest demo for it back last February, but the game is finally coming to early access on November 6th. And what makes this game unique is that it's a multiplayer. This might be one of the most innovative city building games of 2024. It's a game called Thrive, Heavy Lies the Crown.
Cool. I think. Is there anything we need to do, or do we think this is gonna?
I think that'll start to stabilize now.
I think maybe a third fermenter.
Oh, we're going for 3.
It's
I've only got 2 in the other town.
Yeah, but my town's thirsty.
Okay, fair enough.
They glug glug. How many unemployed? 17. So I don't really need more houses.
Housing.
I think the only thing I'm gonna do is make 1 extra orchard.
So while we're talking about the stabilizing of the second province, what is the most provinces?
Ice the Crown, and I played this
one time.
Let me zoom out. Let me check here. So let's see, 1.
For me, it's just been around.
This might be one of the most innovative city building games of 2024. It's a game called Thrive, Heavy Lies the Crown, and I played the Steam Next Fest demo for it back last February.
Minimum, yeah.
I think I was about 7.
7, okay. I was 46. When you zoomed out to start counting, oh my God, here we go. Like, he's taken over everything in one hit.
Yeah. Well, once you start getting to like those bigger numbers, the amount of countries you start getting they're a lot too. So you don't want to go too crazy and then lose track of a couple of things. But yeah, 7 was I think was a good number.
Nice.
I had to start doubling up on certain provinces to like get more resources and
And that's what we'll be doing
recently,
today.
I guess we're playing a co-op game, and then we were saying how nice it would be as a challenge to see about taking over much more of the map, especially when you do have that additional person on your team helping you.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, something that I think would be very cool is trying to take the entire map. Like, obviously, kind of a long-term project. But really just like saying like, hey, what if I was everyone? What if it was all me?
I do want to try that one day.
Yeah, like I'm keen to.
Just for the fun of it, see how it goes.
This might be one of the most innovative city building games of 2024. It's a game called Thrive.
Yeah, I know I'm having issues with my home
This
one
might
right
be one of
now
the
that I
most
think I'm
innovative
just
city
fixing
building games of
because,
2024. It's a game called
population
Thrive,
dipped too
Heavy
low and
Lies
they
the
weren't
Crown,
working enough
and I played the
jobs.
Steam Next Fest demo
Yes,
for
a
it back
lot of
last
things not working. But
Too many
February,
layabouts.
but the game is finally coming to early
Yeah.
access on November 6th.
Oh.
And what makes this game unique is that it's a multiplayer
burnt structures and the unhappiness seems to have disappeared. Look at those farmers.
February, but the game is finally coming to early access on
Not too
November
bad.
6th.
Not too bad.
And what makes
I've seen worse.
February,
Yeah.
And I
but the
don't
game
wanna
is
say
finally
when,
coming
but
to
it
early
could've been in the
access
last
on
10
November
minutes.
6th.
I'm sure it was
what
probably
makes-
a playthrough from a week ago.
Yeah. Old build.
Let's check out Greg over here. Yeah, he's got 3 trade routes going.
Just absolutely going back and forth.
This might be
Yeah,
one of
what
the
are you
most
doing with your-
innovative
Oh, yeah.
city building games of
One of them is
2024. It's a game
more
called
manual
Thrive.
caravan. I'm manually kind of bringing like more
Ooh.
building supplies back and forth because the building supplies, once you bring kind of what you need, you don't need to have them on a regular. But the other two is one is bringing basically the goods to this province. From
This
the main
might be one of the
province
most
that are all
innovative
goods
city building
for
games
the-
of 2024.
the
It's a game
farmers,
called
basically.
Thrive,
And then the
Heavy
other one
Lies
is
the
bringing
Crown,
back
and I played
stuff I need for the laborers in the other province. So they're doing the wheat and the
Play-
iron.
This might be
and,
one of the most innovative city
the-
building games
a
of
little bit of
2024.
beer,
It's a game called
and
Thrive,
coming
Heavy
in
Lies the
with,
Crown,
the
and I played the
apples,
Steam Next Fest
the
demo for it back last February. And what makes this game unique is
cider.
that it's a multi
And then the third guy is building materials.
last February.
Yeah, good. So just out of curiosity, so what's going on over at the
February. And what makes this game
the
unique is that it's a
left side of
multiplayer
the
city
main
building game with
province where
RTS
you
combat
play
and moral choices that will take you down the path of benevolence or
Yeah,
tyranny.
so that's my little
You can also form
labor
alliances with your
various
friends,
sectors.
trade resources
Yeah.
between
How
cities,
about a
and
Yeah.
go to war together to conquer
I
the
know, I
map.
unlocked the
Game's
next
also
thing,
fully playable in the single
'cause I
player
need
as
them
well.
to work a couple of the buildings
Today. This is also
basically I just expanded.
also
I'm trying to
fully
get that
playable
group
in the
store that
single
we
player
talked about
as
to
well.
Get rid of some of the crystals because they make your people unhappy. My people are a little
Fully
bit
playable
unhappy
in the
right
single
now, so I'm trying to
conquer
get
the
rid
map.
of the
Game's
unhappiness
also
by building that, but I needed more laborers to get
Game's also fully playable in the
make
single player as well.
flax oil and to run the Grim store. So
That's what we'll be doing
yeah,
today.
I kind of looped myself into a little bit of an issue, but I'm working on
This
it.
is
I'm working on it. I'm gonna get the fish and the beer coming to them and they'll make them a little bit happier.
This might be one of the most innovative city building games of 2024. It's a game called Thrive, Heavy Lies the Crown,
Yeah,
and
well,
I played
good luck with
the
that
Steam-
journey. As someone who has 2
Thrive,
stabilized
Heavy
provinces
Lies-
which are going bad, I would like to say I would empathize, but I simply can't. Some jamokes
And
just
apparently,
can't
I
handle
picked an
Thrive.
event that has made my people very unhappy. I just got a -10 happiness thing, so I got to go to my vault here and lower my taxes to make these people not really hate me. I'll try to fix it with money. Fix it, right?
Because I need more.
Yeah.
I'm going to be taking some weight off you.
Oh, please do. And that province also has a lot of unemployed people, so we can, I think, set up a bunch more farms. And wheat farms is definitely something we can probably start to really crank as well. I think there's
That'd be
probably
good.
about
This might be one of the most innovative city building games of 2024. It's a game called Thrive.
I think that's maybe we already are sending iron,
We are too. We are
so if
too.
we just want to increase the amount.
No, I think we'll just leave it as it is because how much are we?
Heavy Lies the Crown,
I've got
and I
150 there. So, but by the time that builds, what I'm going to do though actually is
We also set up a bunch of planks. So something that could be is just sending a few more planks. I don't know if this place needs planks.
This might be one of the most innovative city building games of 2024. It's a game called Thrive, Heavy
of rope back and forth. So you can start getting a bit more rope as well. So then that firehouse.
24. It's a game called Thrive.
Will actually finish being built.
Yeah, but it's sometimes it's about intentionality, right? Saying like, guys, we're gonna get there. We're gonna do it. We will, and that's enough to appease the people and appease the fire. Fire respects, the threat of being put out rather than the actual ability to do it.
Fair. Okay.
This might be one of the most innovative city.
We're very close.
We are very close.
Yeah, we're one game
Let's
too.
just double check.
This might be one of the most innovative city building games of 2024. It's a game called Thrive, Heavy Lies the Crown, and I played the Steam Next Fest
for the day to tick over, and we can get that cash flow coming through. I'll let you build out a bit more of yours there.
and I played the Steam
Unemployed, entirely snugged in on the right side for no reason. 55 unemployed.
We can definitely get some.
Yeah, we can get some wheat going.
Some wheat.
Oh, just immediately unhappy people.
The Crown, and I played the Steam Next Fest demo for it back last February. And what makes this game unique is that it's a multiplayer city building game with RTS combat and moral choices that will take you down the path of benevolence or tyranny. You can also form alliances with your friends, trade resources between cities, and go to war together to conquer the map. The game's also fully playable in single player as well.
What do they need? They need firewood and apples.
So I think what we're gonna do is, you know what I think you.
This might be one of the most innovative city building games of 2024. It's a game called Thrive, Heavy Lies the Crown, and I played the Steam Next Fest demo for it back last February. And what makes this game unique is that it's a multiplayer city building game with RTS combat and moral choices that will take you down the path of benevolence or tyranny. You can also form alliances with your friends, trade resources between cities, and go to war together to conquer the map.
All right, let's get some.
The game's also fully playable in single player as well, and that's what we'll be doing today.
Figure out how can you get around this. There we go. So it's stabilized.
This might
perfect, and I did absolutely nothing. Just did it on its own, which is great. You know, sorry. My government intervention was did it.
So I think now, while you can, when you get that revolt happening, what will actually happen is you get locked out of changing the people and structures.
Yeah.
So at least now that it's there, you can now go back to that and have it stabilized. And we get a couple people, back in the food stores.
This might be one of
those deliveries running. You got the unemployed people for it, so you know. Lazy people.
This might be one of the most innovative city building games of 2024. It's a game called Thrive, Heavy Lies the Crown, and I played the Steam Next Fest demo for it back last February. And what makes this game unique is that it's a multiplayer city building game with RTS combat and moral choices that will take you down the path of benevolence or tyranny. You can also form alliances with your friends.
Yeah, that's good. Bunch of apples. People, they yearn for apples. Right. Perfect road system.
Tyranny. You can also form alliances with your friends, trade resources between cities, and go to war together to conquer the map. The game's also fully playable in single player as well, and that's what we'll be doing today.
The happiness is way back up. Oh my god.
There we go. Look at that. Jumped to 92 already with just that little bit of stabilization. Are you sure you want to go into laborers? I don't know.
I am tempted by things that are bad for me, so that's maybe exactly what we do. I do want to get a couple more wheat. Is it worth just eliminating these two?
Well, once you eliminate them, they're gone.
Yeah.
Like, you do have to be careful about where you build things, because all of a sudden you might start going over iron ore, you might start going over stone.
It's true.
And then all of a sudden, now you're not getting any more stone. Thankfully, you've got a healthy supply of stone here at the moment, but you got to be careful.
I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit. I'm gonna add a couple things like there, a couple more fermented. Hopefully we can just have a real excess of apples and fermenters. I think that's the play. I don't think we need to be conservative about it. You know, we can get to that cap. We've got hemp at the cap, water at the cap, and I think it's time to really push for those other things to be at the cap. But with that, I think let's actually build another suburb out. Not to expand, just for... basically just for more farms. Because how many unemployed? We have 25 more employed. Get more wheat. Do a big one. He's occupied.
You're also building outside of you. Also, you'll have to build another food store.
I do, yeah. What is this space occupied by? I'm not sure. Let's try now. Who can say? Well, I guess, we go to the other side. That's no problem at all. We do have a nice juicy space here. Great. Perfect. Did that. Then, we're going to build a food store out here. A food store, a well, and we're going to have a second sort of thing. That should be kind of good for this one. I think that's...
This might be one of the most innovative city building games of 2024. It's a game called
level.
Yeah. Well, we eliminated those stones, but I did it to demonstrate what it looks like, of course.
Yeah.
I've never misclicked in my life. I don't even know what that concept is.
What's the misclick?
I don't know.
Oh.
And I don't know who said it, and I would love if you could explain. But oh my god, the happiness back above 100.
Oh, look at that.
And we're making fatty
look
stacks.
Look at how quick you've stabilized on that.
Yeah. I mean, I feel good about that. And we're only down to 15 unemployed, which should fill out once those are done. Anything else that we need? I mean,
this might be one of
those were good. Side is good. Firewood's the only one which is a little bit iffy. So I think we could have...
You could maybe build another...
One more wood chopper.
Yeah,
I don't want to go crickety cray, son. Despite that being probably my general MO when it comes to this building. But this is what Chaos build is. Always keeps you on your toes. Everyone else is vibing and I'm like locked in.
But see, I feel like that's generally your second province, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, absolutely.
It's like your first province, you stabilize, you've got your plan of attack. And no matter how well you think you've planned ahead, you get to your second province like, well, I need to just start throwing shit down so I can actually get this stabilized.
Yep. 100%. And that's a very inefficient well there, but that's okay because we're fine on water. All right, cool. So I think that should be everything. Yeah, we should be chopping. We've got enough wood. We've got enough stone, hemp. The only thing we kind of need maybe is more apples.
I think give it some time. Like you're probably at the moment, like click on some of like your apple orchard. Like you got a lot of it there, so they are producing. Just like you got to give it a little bit of time.
I don't want to wait. I want it now.
I look at that, right? Like when that bar gets to the end, there you're gonna have 72 apples.
It's true.
Like once they all come together,
there we go.
This might be one of the most innovative cities.
They're flying.
All right.
This province is set up, and how many? Okay, 159. How many does main province have? How does Superior?
Superior town has 140.
Yep. I mean, that's the difference between...
This might be one of the most innovative city building games.
And like, keep it conservative, make sure everything is, and just crank that population, live in the
might be one of the most innovative city...
And then force yourself to keep up. Okay. We are seeing Greg is having a moment. I saw Walgrim Surge come up. Are you still dealing with that?
Innovative city building games of 2024. It's a game called...
Boost to my farms and production of 50%. Yeah. So, yeah.
Thrive heavy
increase for the next few days, so I'm loving that because I'm running low.
Yeah, I could use that. My apples are low.
Yeah, same actually.
Low apples. Well.
I know it finally hit me too. I know. I was laughing at you guys when it was happening.
Yeah, we have quite a few conversations here.
Oop. Slammed through that one quickly.
Yeah, that's all right.
It's a game called Thrive Heavy Lies the Crown.
Crystals. I've heard them talking about the crystals before.
It's a game called Thrive Heavy Lies the Crown, and I played the Steam.
So what'd you say?
Oh, I was trying to rush to get some troops made here.
Called Thrive Heavy Lies the Crown, and I played the Steam Next
blacksmith down. I forgot 0 fire protection over here.
Yeah, Mother Nature saying no.
The Crown, and I played the Steam Next Fest demo.
We are about to launch our third province, which we talked about many years ago. But do you have any? What are your thoughts when it comes to placing?
For placing,
yeah, your province. Like, what are you thinking right now when you're about to engage in third province?
The third province here, I'm thinking about. Okay, so we're looking at the resources. I'm thinking ahead when I'm thinking third province. So here, obviously, you can see like your natural resources. You know, you've got your stone, your trees, your iron, your water. So here,
Next Fest demo for it back last.
Well, so we could realistically do fish
demo for
either of these. But what I'm mostly interested is, as you'll notice, you'll see in the natural resources
back last February. And what makes this game
the resource bar down the bottom, there's also stone.
Unique is that it's a multiplayer city building game with RTS.
Until you're tyrannical, you eventually end up with a quarry, where as long as that's listed like the
multiplayer city building game with RTS combat,
which then becomes
city building game with
getting that around to the rest of them. So my third province is always okay. How are we planning ahead to make sure that we can keep all the provinces healthy
and that's the name of the game, and that's certainly the philosophy that I follow. Healthy and happy is my MO.
Game with RTS combat.
No, I'm actually learning so much. It's been great. Yeah, no, I mean, and it's cool, like, you know, because we talked about before, like, oh, you have like a limited ability to sort of like make
and moral choices,
acquire blocks, a limited ability to acquire stone and stuff like that, where it's like, no, like that's early game, and we talked about it a little bit before.
That will
like,
take
that
you down the
example of, like, there is
path
kind
of
a way to get your production crazy high. So like if you wanted, like we talked about before, like Greg, you were saying like, oh, I've got an 1,000-person province, and you know, you probably can't do that with too many provinces.
Benevolence
but there are ways to,
or
like, if you
tyranny.
really wanted to like push the game, and you really wanted to just like have an empire that is thousands and thousands of people, there kind of are ways to sort of do that. Obviously, there are sort of limitations, and you have to be pretty judicious.
And you can also
but like I do like that.
Form alliances with your friends, trade resources
between. You can do is more, you know, is really
between
hard.
cities.
You can push
and
the
go
game really far.
And go to war.
Definitely. So I think we're there.
And go to war together to conquer the map.
Oh yeah,
game's
that's
also
been on the menu as well. A nice tier 3. You can unlock it. Have you guys got tier 3?
Game's also fully playable in the single player as well.
I've been
single player as well.
My, first 2 tiers there.
That's interesting. See, for me, I like to get to tier 3 as quickly as possible, and then really figure out what we're doing.
Yeah.
So probably the one part where I'm a bit more chaotic.
They're more aggressive.
Well, yeah.
Well, that's like classic.
This might be one of the most innovative city building games of 2024. It's a game called Thrive, Heavy Lies the Crown, and I played the Steam Next Fest demo for it back last February. And what makes this game unique is that it's a multiplayer city building game with RTS combat and moral choices that will take you,
which makes sense. But obviously this isn't an RTS.
Choices that will take you down the path of benevolence or tyranny. You can also form alliances with your friends, trade resources between cities, and go to war together to conquer the map. Game's also
Warcraft 3s and things like that. It was always like
also fully playable in the single player as well.
To their final tier, then deal with the rest.
This might be one of the most innovative city building games of 2024. It's a game called Thrive, Heavy Lies the Crown, and I played the Steam Next Fest demo for it back last February. And what makes this game unique is that it's a multiplayer city building game with RTS combat and moral choices that will take you down the path of benevolence or
strategy more.
The Steam Next Fest demo for it back last February. And what makes this game unique is that it's a multiplayer city building game with RTS combat and moral choices that will take you down the path of benevolence or tyranny. You can also form alliances with your friends, trade resources between cities, and go to war together to conquer the map. Game's also fully playable in the single player as well.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
I know, yeah. So, yeah, I'm almost there too. I'm worried you're going to show up here soon.
I am so far off troops. It's
to conquer the map.
Funny. So
Game's also fully
for the quick kill. I'm definitely
fully playable in the single player as well.
Also, why I think it was smart of me to choose the.
Game's also fully playable in the single player.
Yeah.
I got a major
single player as well.
Right, I'm trying to get that under control.
That's exactly where I am right now too. Yeah, I just threw down 3 more. I need those planks.
Oh, look at that surplus of planks that we have over here.
Sounds like you guys need to employ the Alex Gilliso tactic of building a third province to literally just get wood, limestone, iron. Like that's it.
I know.
Drag the planks, send it back. You know.
Yeah.
But now that that's done, we have our 3rd tier.
Yeah. Wow.
And as you can see, it gets pretty costly in your 3rd tier.
Yeah.
Like at the moment, can't afford a single thing because we spent a decent chunk of that gold already. So we might want to go back and maybe, you know, what do we got here? Food stores.
This might be what
increased storage. I think the increased storage would be good, especially over at your province. Like you've got such a farm of apples and wheat.
Oh, we've got such a surplus. We just need more storage. Like, oh, our planks are just overflowing. Wobbity woobity. What do we do with them? We need, you know, oh my, that's the biggest hassle. I mean, something that we can, I think, you know, both Greg and Brandon have started to do it. We haven't really talked about it. We haven't really talked about laborers. Why don't we build out laborers a bit more, and then we build out a military a bit more, and we kind of hit those 2 different parts of the game, which, you know, we haven't fully engaged with.
Yeah, 100%. I just got to get some more of that gold back in here, and then we can get there. Because the one thing you will notice, so like when you're going through your farm structures, right, it's generally just wood or logs and stone. You know, most of them there.
This might be one of the most innovative city building games of 2024. It's a game called Thrive, Heavy Lies the Crown, and I played the Steam Next Fest demo for it back last February. And what makes this game unique is that it's a multiplayer city building game with RTS combat and moral choices that will take you down the path of benevolence or tyranny. You can also form alliances with your friends, trade resources between cities, and go to war together to conquer the map. The game's also fully playable in single player as well.
Although I'm earning more.
Oh, really?
It's not actually helpful to me right now, but like later on,
city building games
to get a vault, which I'm sure the two of you already have vaults.
Yes.
You actually.
This might be one of the most innovative city building games of 2024.
Right? Like so, although I'm building out quite slowly, I'm in a spot where I'm not really concerned about my resources, so I'll start be able to expand quite easily now. Whereas those guys on the other side, hard expansion. Where's the planks?
Yep. They're over here. That's what they are. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It is nice to look at the top bar and the lowest resource be at 246.
Yeah.
It feels nice.
It is nice.
And then basically everything else is maxed out. Or near maxed out.
So we're just waiting for that.
At 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Yep. So we've got an hour. Uh-oh, stuff's on fire.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
But the firehouse has been built. So
do we want to build a second firehouse?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
I mean,
where do you want it? You want it at the top here?
Yeah, I think chuck it next to the places that's on fire.
Okay.
More of a coincidence than anything else, but that seems good spot.
Let's just make sure we're
road.
Oh,
it's fine.
Have I ruined it? Do you want to delete it and start again?
Get rid of it now. How dare you touch my promise? This is this is just a bit. I'm totally fine. Lord, give me strength. Yes, demolish. Workers are nearby. I can't demolish because of the fire.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. No, you know what? I actually wanted to
I think you need it there now.
Yeah, and we'll double road.
Gives a bit of a gap between the fire and your firehouse.
It is a bit wild to build a building that's literally next to where the fires are, but hopefully this means that they get out to it quick.
Fingers crossed they get there quickly.
Yeah. We've got a good unemployed.
Yeah.
Oh, let's move the loggers camp. Why is this not? Oh, because we're at max?
Yeah, you're at max. You got 900 logs there, so.
But these guys will come back when logs, but let's move that.
This might be one of
camp. Same thing. Where's the miners camp? Oh, it's just there. Cool. Everything else is going good. Sweet. Okay.
Might be one of them.
Figure itself out.
Cool.
Let's.
All right. Well, we've got some cash now, so we'll come back to you later. Let's get a bit more of that later.
This might be
set up.
Well, do we want to do a laborer's setup in Province 3? Do we want to do an audacious
games of 2024? It's a game called Thrive, Heavy Lies the Crown.
It's risky to do that.
Yeah.
Because we're going to have to make sure we get all the resources.
2024. It's a game called...
I think it'd be better to start here first, small, and then we can do that in the second one.
Cool.
Sorry, in the third one, sorry.
This might be one of the most innovative cities.
Yeah, I think of them the same way.
All right, we've already got the cook house, so we're going to have to get a few more houses in here. To really get that population flourishing.
Yep, I mean that's the main thing you kind of need is to get people going in and everything, but also they take a little bit of time to come. So it's like, you know, if you're being dedicated about it and going like, hey, I'm about to focus on not too bad to place those houses, make sure they start to come in and then build around it. Although we can talk about so you did do that third house in that row pretty outside the area of impact. Do you want to, I guess, explain the percentages?
So now I don't know the exact percentage. It's kind
the general
of
vibe.
Me feeling out. If for me, it's all I've tended to notice. It's like you've got to be mostly within that area of effect, than outside of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if what the exact number is. I don't know if the if Greg or Brandon want to let that kind of secret out. But
it's above 50%.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Half.
So this one here, this house here could be questionable.
I think it's a good 60, 65.
Well, I guess we'll find out soon enough. If it's a very unhappy laborer's house, we're going to know very quickly why.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got that happening there. So hopefully we can start. What I do need to do, though, is I need to build 2 more fermenters. I'm going to build them just randomly to the side here.
Perfect. Good spot.
For no apparent reason whatsoever.
And I do like this not connecting the 2 suburbs thing you've got going on.
Oh yeah, they will not be connected whatsoever, and neither of them are connecting to the keep.
Yeah, I respect it. It's cool.
So you have just no road between them at all.
Correct.
Oh yeah,
nice.
So I kind of, like I said, I like to keep them separate, but like I do eventually, I will say I do eventually build around the keep, but like that's later on. Like when the vault comes around, like I feel like that's something you want to build with your keep.
Yeah.
You know, you want to keep it safe, and anything military related all around the keep.
Yeah, I mean, especially Brandon, as you did, like where you built walls and you kind of had your own area. It's like, you know, for mine, there's no space for wall. Like it is just like one massive city, which is like walls cost, you know, resources, and to build around your entire city, tough, costly, hard to do.
Oh.
Yeah, well, there we go. I mean, this is why we needed to focus on it, and this is why.
That's it. Now this will come down pretty quickly. Like they've got the clothing. The clothing will come, but we definitely need to get these 2 fermenters built really quickly. That probably should have started with beer first. What we can actually do is we can actually just let's switch this bad boy over to beer. We just need to wait for that delivery of wheat to come, which we should have some wheat. We have 0 wheat. Hopefully this is dropping off wheat.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
There we go.
I think we could probably set up more, though. I think we probably can increase the amount of wheat. Because the other place doesn't even have any laborers, so there's not really
so we're just gonna
concern on that front.
That to, you got that much wheat come through. I'm just gonna go straight 250.
I think do it 100%.
All right, there we go. So there we go. Oof.
Those beautiful angry faces, those beautiful, you know, fists of solidarity.
See, there we go. Like it's good. They're like we've got hemp clothing coming in.
Yeah. We
just need that beer to come through, and then
the 2 fermenters are built, or the second one's about to be built. Yeah, I think it is also. So, what was the choice around having, you know, the cider, the beer, and the 3rd secret production thing being on the fermenter rather than those being separate buildings?
I mean, one of it mainly they're similar tasks. Like we did actually do a little bit of research on how things are made in real life and stuff like that. The other one was just to kind of compared to some other games, like we have a lot of buildings, like a lot of.
This might be one of the most innovative city building games of 2024.
So we did want to limit kind of like how crazy large your jobs get, and not to have too many buildings to go through, and also just like different buildings, like there it gets to be a lot for sure in the end.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. I think it's a really like wise choice, and it makes a lot of logical sense as well. On that, like you make a apple orchard to make cider, so you like learn that production line, and that's for farmers to make them happy. And then it's like you make a wheat farm to make beer, and that's how you keep laborers happy. And it like makes sense to, you know, and I think that's true of like a lot of different of the production lines in the game is that they do follow like a logical sequence. And there is kind of that learning of it's like you learn it with, say, farmers in this case, and then it's like later you might learn it with like, you know, laborers or whatever, like a different type of practice. And it's like, okay, cool. It's the same sort of thing. It's just a different resource chain. It's a different production chain. It's a slight variant, but I do like that it kind of all makes logical sense. And it's very intuitive, I would say.
Stabilize once we get that wheat delivery coming through, so we'll just let that do its thing and stabilize first before we start expanding any further. I guess actually you guys kind of brought up a good question, a good topic there. So in terms of sort of like how you said you did some research about buildings doing similar things and whatnot, how far and how deep did you guys go in general with sort of like research of the period and how it all worked?
Yeah, so I mean, our game is, you know, light fantasy, so there are elements that, you know, we already saw a giant snake monster attacking my town, so that obviously.
You're telling me that wasn't real?
historically accurate. Hey, who knows? I didn't live back then. But as far as other buildings go, like we did want to keep the medieval theme going. So we tried to keep things to what kind of technologies they used at the time. Like if you look at your craftsmen, they're making rope kind of traditionally, like the way they would make rope, or, you know, with blacksmiths and all that kind of thing. Like we didn't want to put in, you know, and we wanted to keep things visually on the outside. Like we didn't want to say like your craftsman makes things and you just have a building that you see the outside of. We wanted to show kind of some of these processes and how things were made. So in order to show them, we wanted to keep them kind of accurate to the time period and not like get you out of that kind of zone.
Yeah, and we haven't been showing it off too much. We're looking at it a bit more now. But you can zoom in on any building.
This might be
life. Like you can see.
This might be one of the most innovative city
characters, like your farmers, your laborers, like doing different tasks, and you can see them walking around and gathering the resources.
This might be one of the most innovative city building games of 2024. It's a game called Thrive: Heavy Lies the Crown, and I played the Steam Next Best demo for it back last February. And what makes this game
to gather resources, and I do love just like watching people do stuff and watching the models, because there is so much like life to the city.
It's a game called
so much like life. It's a game called individual building, but there is also like that really cool activity. Oh, amazing. Yeah, we can literally see this like a little footprint.
It's a game called
every single.
This might be one of the most innovative
random names.
This might be one of the most innovative city building games of 2024. It's a game called Thrive: Heavy Lies.
Who we're looking at?
24. It's a game called Thrive: Heavy Lies the Crown, and I played this.
I mean, that one, for sure. It is just a big list of random names, but yeah, it does mostly come down to, unfortunately, just legal issues. And there was a list of names that, you know, you could take and put together.
It's a game called
populated the list with mostly stuff that kind of sounded medieval, so Kat did a good job going.
This might be one of the most innovative city building games of 2024. It's a game called Thrive: Heavy Lies the Crown, and I played the Steam Next Best demo for it back last February. And what makes this game unique is that it's a multiplayer city building game with RTS combat and moral choices that will take you down the path of benevolence or tyranny. You can also form alliances with your friends, trade resources between cities, and go to war together to conquer the map. This game's also fully playable in single player as well.
My name is actually in the game though. My last name is in the game somewhere. Spoiler alert. Yeah. They made it through the legal the legal loopholes apparently.
That's hilarious.
Not even by choice either. I one day I clicked on a person and it had my name. I'm like, what?
This might be one of the most innovative city building games of 2024. It's a game called Thrive: Heavy Lies the Crown, and I played the Steam Next Best demo for it back last February. And what makes this game unique is that it's a multiplayer city building game with RTS combat and moral choices that will take you down the path of benevolence or tyranny. You can also form alliances with your friends, trade resources between cities, and go to war together to conquer the map. The game's also fully playable in single player as well.
Really, really cool. And like the orange footprint, or I guess the color matching there, like letting us know where they're going to and from. Like we can see this person there. What is it? They work in the food store and they're just going from house to house, moving food around.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just such a cool element of the game that you just like. A lot of people like wouldn't think of that. That's right there.
Yeah, we wanted you to feel connected to the people that you are making all these choices on. So obviously part of that is watching them live out their daily lives. So that was a big part.
Yeah, it's sick. No, it's awesome. Should we head back and keep doing our laborers? Well, I'll let you keep doing the laborers section. We can see them coming in. We're up to 37 laborers.
This might be one of the most innovative.
Please, some have said, okay, we're stabilizing. We are stabilizing. We have beer. Okay. So what I've also done is I've actually started like preparing things to start getting iron tools, laborers, meals. Fish is something that we're going to have to work on soon. Which this is where the hard part kicks in, because like we have to go to a different province for fish. So
this might be
what I've also tried as a bit of a strategy as well before.
This might be one of the most innovative city building games of 2024. It's a game called Thrive: Heavy Lies the Crown, and I played the Steam Next Best demo for it.
And I think this could be a good time for the Alex Gills I send wood back strategy, because we are capped on wood.
We are very capped on.
This might be one of the most innovative city building games of 2024. It's a game called Thrive, Heavy Lies the Crown, and I played the Steam Next Fest demo for it back last February. And what makes this game unique is that it's a multiplayer city building game with RTS combat and moral choice.
Making some armaments, touch into that a little bit, talk about a little bit of military, because we haven't really focused on it because we've had such a chill gameplay. But we can actually see the purple bar at the top. We are starting to get into a bit of a danger zone, and
with that Welgrim, yes,
yeah, like we are at getting to a point where we might be at a threat of being attacked. So we probably do want to start to build a military, well, for that reason, rather than just showing.
This might be one of the most innovative city building.
The right spot. There we go. I'm gonna take 250 of this.
This might be one of the most innovative city building games of 2024. It's a game called Thrive, Heavy Lies the Crown.
Yep. You guys can have a sook. Fine. Maybe we could build some houses or whatever. But
this might be one of the most innovative city building games of 2024. It's a game called Thrive, Heavy Lies the Crown, and I played the Steam Next Fest demo for it back last February. And what makes this game unique is that it's a multiplayer city building game with RTS combat and moral choices that will take you down the path of benevolence or tyranny.
And this is also a manual trade route rather than, a manual trade route that you're just loading a caravan and sending it back rather than actually setting up a trade route, which will be like automatically going back and forth. Okay.
I guess the other question is...
This might be one of the most innovative city building games of 2024. It's a game called Thrive, Heavy Lies the Crown, and I played the Steam Next Fest demo for it back last February.
What we could actually do is move this. We can maybe head over to one of the other guys' provinces.
Yeah, and then
actually have a look at
100%. That sounds good, because we'll start to wrap up soon. But like, why don't you guys do like a final tour of your provinces? Brandon, we'll start with you. Oh, we're looking at the fenced off community, the sort of walled off area. Very beautiful.
Look at that. He's got a couple of vaults there, I see.
Yep.
Yeah, I did.
This might be one of the most innovative city building games of.
I haven't rebuilt it yet just because I was busy building my military works just south of there. But they're still protected enough. But we did at least. Safe. Yeah.
Have a squeeze.
I did.
Go on.
Start building some troops. I sent some to you guys and some over to Greg.
Okay.
They just recently left my province. Yeah. But yeah, so just south of my. Are we going to
see a declare war appear soon, or?
I was gonna at least show up first and show off the military might before clicking the button.
Oh no, they're an emissary. They're merely
yeah.
Okay, well we look forward to that. And that adventure that'll entail. And the second the declare war is, it'll be like, oh, sorry guys, stream's done. Oh no.
So I'm definitely liking sort of like. We're not too dissimilar in the way we set things up. I keep mine completely unattached because it's basically class warfare, and whereas you at least have roads connecting people together.
Yes, I did still at least have roads connecting at least everything together. Yeah,
like your villager section here is fantastic. Like just your farmers, just the house is set up perfectly.
Beautiful.
Looks like your wells are just far enough away from each other.
Yeah,
this might be one of the most innovative city
overlap, but early game, of course, that helps so much with fire that I'm okay with taking the small penalty for that. Reduces the need on the fire halls, but now that I have the firehouse, it's easier to manage, anyways.
Didn't you a couple of structures that you look like you need a bit of rebuilding on there?
Yeah, we did have a fire, and I've been avoided rebuilding those as I'm trying to get up the bow and Fletcher. I'm short on rope, so I didn't want to rebuild those because those ones require rope as well, so I could make some archers. But yeah, rope production is very slow right now. I need some more carpenter buildings.
That's as we go to look over your second province, it's definitely, I think, the big part there. It's that fine balance of, what you need, what you don't need, and making sure you're keeping on top of it while you've got quite a few crystals coming in over here.
Jeez, ways.
Yeah, so they definitely could use a Grim store up here to clean this up. And I was actually just starting to look at that. I was going to ship the oil from my main province over as opposed to making it here itself.
Yep.
So that was something I was looking at as well.
I will say the first time I did build that Grim store there for the crystals, not realizing that the flax was a necessity. And building it in the middle of a bunch of laborers building houses and structures. I'll leave it a surprise of what happened, but you guys know how well that didn't go for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are consequences for sure.
And even
my troops just arrived to Greg's second province.
Oh,
well, should we go check out Greg's second province on that?
Let's go and check it out.
No.
To check it out.
Get out of here.
Oh, I see you got fires going on already too.
Yeah, go take care of that for me, would you? That'd be great.
Oh my god, and they're coming in with absolute vim and vigor.
We're not allies yet, but we're also not enemies. I'm just checking your stuff out.
Yeah, we're watching you check them out. Yeah,
we're watching your guys watch his buildings on fire.
Yeah. Mocking taunts, perhaps.
So, in terms of the discussion we had much earlier, is this more like what Greg's provinces generally look like, just on fire?
On fire, yes, yeah,
yes.
Right, Greg?
Unfortunately, yes. I have bad fire luck, but unfortunately, yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, I see you got no fire hall over there, but you got your perfect setup here. I see your fire station the way you like it in the middle, and so
I know. I forgot. The problem was too is I just put the well down next to those buildings that are on fire, so because I completely forgot about all of it. Like, they had nothing. So, they're gonna burn for sure.
I like that it's a definite that it's gonna happen. You're not too concerned.
I know. Yeah, I've come to accept fire. That's a natural way of things.
I will say your second province, Greg, definitely good there for your production of just like what seems to be a very well thought out wheat town.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be pumping out wheat and fish. That's probably the two. That'll be what it makes. That's its job. Yeah.
So there's definitely I think safe to say that like trying to find provinces that are wheat rich, but also that's a lot of fire.
Yeah, we're like, wow, what a beautiful like wheat section zoomed out. It's like, oh, that's right, the fire. Yeah.
Zoom back in, zoom back in.
Right side of the map doesn't exist. It's all left side.
Hey, don't worry about that part.
But no, it's very important to make sure that like your second province has access to water, I think. To making sure you can really get those fishing out there and start getting that for your laborers.
Yeah.
Well, especially early game when you only have a few provinces, you definitely want to at least have a couple of resources that are important to you than just one.
So when expanding, because like sometimes I've taken a different route to expansion, and instead of picking the smaller province with wheat and fish and whatnot, I'll go back and I'll pick one of the sort of starting locations that you can pick at the start and build a second province there. Do you think that like it's worth like doing that early on and like building up sort of like the same base things, or do you think it is definitely detrimental to do that to the playthrough?
If you're in single player, I mean, I guess there's nothing detrimental. And it is nice to have. I've definitely done it just for the extra space and wanting to build an extra kingdom. But as far as the most efficient way to play would be to avoid another starting zone, for quite a while.
That's definitely good advice there. Because sometimes, like, I just think, I'm like, oh, do I want the size? Do I want the space over the resource? But no, it definitely can be interesting there. Like, I was actually doing a playthrough with the team in here, Laura and Leon, the other day.
Legends.
And it was actually quite funny watching Leon's new tactic that he decided to kind of give a whirl, which was just take provinces and box people in so they can't get them. I was like, wow, that is evil.
That is forward settle meta.
Yeah.
I don't know how many.
It was definitely forward something.
Yeah.
I Like he like basically it got to a point where like the only way Laura could actually get weeps. I was on the other side of the map, similar to where we are
classic
now.
George, always on the right side, never getting in the thick of it.
Well, no, because I saw them two so close to each other. I'm like, I'm gonna move away from this one.
I ain't about that life. Yeah.
And yeah, seeing Leon just like completely take every single area of wheat that forced Laura to literally have to come to the other side and set up the longest trade route ever.
Damn.
Definitely hampered her expansion.
She was salty in the office. She really straight to HR.
Could you imagine going?
That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm being bullied in Thrive.
Yes.
But that's what Thrive does.
Yeah.
Ooh, not available in this province.
Nope. No, there's no.
Oh, this province sucks for food.
Yeah, that's why you don't want to start building this province too quickly.
Okay, we've been declared war on. Okay, well, let's go check out what's going on. How do we find out where your troops are? Oh, here they are. Well, let's see what happens.
Well, at the moment, there's nothing we can really do about it.
Well, but we can watch. We can watch and see. This is a good place to end. This is a good as we watch us get attacked with literally no ability to fight back, and we can investigate if we have. Oh, we actually can build an armory.
We can build an armory, but we're not going to get far with other things yet.
Well, let's throw down this barracks. We can show off what it would look like if these did exist.
At Half-Life, the buildings light on fire when you're attacking them, so yeah.
Yeah, if you want to show off some of the combat, please do.
See, now he just finishes it off. Like, he doesn't even need to attack it anymore. It's just like, well...
No, just let it burn, yeah.
So in that regard, if you were to actually take out a town...
Oh my god, he's going for the people! What a maniac!
Well...
No, not...
Wait, how many unemployed people do we have? They'll be replaceable pretty quickly. Okay, you can...
Only 13. You can take out 13 and then we're going to have an issue.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you want to run into this fucking revolting labor area.
Yeah, I see that now. Yeah, everyone's revolting.
You really just leave that. That's kind of, they're on your side possibly. Yeah. I don't know if you're going to go with pamphlets.
They might join me. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys, you hate this province? Do I have the... All right, sweet. Well, yeah, cool. Do we guys want to do some final thoughts?
Yeah.
I feel good about our provinces. Yeah. Not stoked about being attacked, but, you know.
Could be worse.
It could definitely be worse, yeah.
Like, we could be getting attacked, and we could also have one of the beasts coming and attacking us as well.
Yeah, so true. And it's getting there. We're getting... we're getting close.
Yeah, though, I think you guys mentioned, too, like, building a barracks, too, like, that actually holds food for your troops. So, like, that's something a little bit different, too. Like, it's not a game where you just build unlimited troops and not have to worry about them again. You actually have to keep them fed, or they do lose their life and are not very happy.
Yeah, so my troops that made the journey over here, since I didn't bring a caravan of food with them, they are starving right now and slowly losing life. So you are meant to actually supply your troops as well. So it makes a lot of strategy between the battles if you're trying to snipe someone's caravan with the food rations they brought with them.
Yeah, very interesting. I was wondering why you were retreating, and I thought it was like possibly just our aura. But
yeah, I thought maybe like one of the guys caught on fire because he was too close to the building. Maybe,
maybe had like an existential reckoning. You know, started to gain empathy. Right. You know, who can say? But they're starving.
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay. All right, great. Well, I think with that, thank you so much, everyone, for watching and staying around. It has been absolutely wonderful playing with you, Brandon and Greg. It's been wonderful to see, you know, how you guys do things. I've learned so much, and you know, thank you so much for making this incredible game. Like I said, it's fun for me as someone who like wish listed this game before I started working on it, and was like, I'm so excited for it. And you know, when I got to start working at Playside, this was one of the big things that I was like super excited to work on. And I've absolutely loved it.
That's awesome, Alex. Yeah, thanks very much for helping us share it today. And we're super excited to have it come out here on November.
Yeah, same here. Like just sort of seeing where the game has like come from like early stages. Because like I must say, like even before I came on board to, you know, into the to this project as well. I'd actually played it a couple of times prior, just helping out with the early days of multiplayer, sort of seeing where the game was a year ago to where it is now. It's like absolutely amazing to see this progress. Like you've all done an absolute amazing job on this.
Yeah, we're really happy to finally, like, after all the work and the years, to get the game out for people to play. Yeah.
Nice.
All right, amazing. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for watching. George and I are going to be streaming routinely over on Playside Studio Twitch, which you can very much check out. And that'll also, be available other places as well. But yeah, we'll be doing a co-op game. So kind of like this, as George and I have been doing now, but we will have 2 computers set up as well. So if you're excited to see that, because although this multiplayer game has been pretty cooperative until right at the very end, there is a really unique way to play the game where multiple people can play on literally the same empire, which is awesome, right? Like if you do want to just do a more collaborative game with your friends, that's possible. And yeah, we're going to sort of dive in and start to see that. But that'll be at the same time.
And it makes it really effective. Like when you guys were talking about, I need so many resources from your main province. When you're both playing at the same time, someone could be building up all those other provinces and asking back and forth what the main kingdom needs. And yeah, you can send those resources back and forth and keep moving along instead of, switching the keyboard back and forth or whatnot.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. Well, final goodbyes. Thank you so much, everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you all.